Alright, new game, here we go. Oh, sorry. I thought it was gonna be like some cutscene. I actually muted my mic. Oh gosh. Wake up, the carriage is on fire.
Rough night?
Bit too much Bollingworth ale is all. That stuff really creeps up on you.
Let me know if you can hear the voices okay. I might actually crank the voice acting up.
Sorry I couldn't join you, but I was long overdue for a quiet night in with Addie.
That's fine. There'll be plenty of other opportunities. Hell, maybe Adelaide can even join us. It's been ages since she last drank me under the table.
Afraid she mostly sticks to tea these days.
Miles, what exactly is it we're looking into? I may have dozed off during the briefing.
So we must be briefings. What's our job here? Are we detectives?
Honestly, Bill, one of these days Snelling's gonna notice.
No, he won't. Why do you think they put him behind a desk? The man couldn't find his own backside with a pair of pliers and a lantern.
Very funny. Anyway, it's a burglary at the Hambrook Flower Shop.
A burglary, eh? How dull. At least we'll have enough time to get a drink afterwards.
You seem awfully certain of that.
I am. In fact, I bet the devil my head that we're done within the hour.
Well, the devil's gonna be disappointed that his winnings are so meager. We've arrived. After you, Bill.
The city of New Britagna? Borough of Modley? I don't know if I pronounced that right. The font was hard to read for me.
Thank you. Keep the change.
Whoa, that was a bit loud.
And so, our night of excitement begins.
You, more than anyone else, should know that there's rarely a dull night in Chumley.
How did he pronounce that? The way he pronounced it, it sounded like it was like 3 syllables.
I have a feeling tonight will be the exception.
Chum?
Until we get to the pub, that is.
Keep your mind on the case, Bill. Now let's get a move on.
Alright, we've got to be detectives or something. Right, can I... Oh, okay, here's the settings. I need to turn the voices up, and I think the sound even further down. Because it's still, like, that horse was really loud. For me, and also the voices just need to come up just a bit. Okay, yeah, I've played point and clicks before. Current case, honor among thieves. The Hanbrook Flower Shop has been burglarized. Will the burglar return, or is this investigation just a formality? Alright, so our quest is to speak to the owner of the Hanbrook Flower Shop. Yeah, it's a weird English name. So it's pronounced Chumley. Interesting. Alright, this is where our clues are. Suspects. Documents. Okay. It didn't look like we had...
Glad this thing is lit. This isn't really the type of place I'd prefer to be at this time of night.
Don't worry, Miles. I've got your back.
So... So it looks like we don't have items from what it... It looks like we don't have items. I think we just... Yeah, we just have a case book. So we're just working with clues.
Fordham, what are you doing?
I was gonna check inside this trash can for clues.
Miles, in the 15 years we've been partners, how many times have you found something inside a trash can that wasn't garbage?
Fair point.
I'm still gonna look. No? I would have. Come on now.
I can't believe that thing made it all the way across the Atlantic in less than a week.
Don't scoff at the future, Miles. Pretty soon, we'll all be riding those things to work.
Especially considering Prince Harold is their big celebrity passenger. Looks like they've had some trouble with vandalism.
I like how he said that without...
Pretty much every business in this part of town has.
I like how he said that away from the window. I thought he would walk over to it.
That reminds me. I should pick up a bouquet for Addie when we're done here.
Seems like you've been spending more time with me than with her lately. I sure hope she's not the jealous type.
Alright, probably say the same thing.
Certainly looks cozy in there.
Plants have a nice way of doing that.
Alright, so let's go in.
Come on, Bill.
Charming little place, isn't it?
Charming, but empty. We need to find the owner.
Is it a detective thing to talk to each other while facing the wrong way? Yeah, I think so. It's for the dramatics, you know.
Always so to the point, Fordham. If ever there was a better time to stop and smell the flowers.
I think I'll leave that to you, Bill.
Alright, so we've got Ford and Bill.
With my allergies? Hardly.
Alright. Hanging plants. We've got center display. Ooh, half price. Love that. Got a price list. We've got nozzles. We've got a sign. We can go ring the bell. We're not going to do that, though. We're going to look at everything first.
Plants hanging on hooks. A nice space-saving method.
I'd probably bang my head against them constantly if I had them in my apartment.
This is quite the selection. Come over here and take a whiff, Bill.
Sure, if you don't mind me getting snot all over your coat.
Oh, no, not the Myers case all over again. On second thought, you can just stay over there. This is quite the selection. Oh, on second...
Oh, same thing.
These prices are pretty reasonable. The place I go in Worcester's clearly robbing me blind.
If you think those are bad, don't go near the flower shops in Lyon.
Okay.
These seem to be part of the watering system for the flowers.
I haven't seen old piping like this in a while. Seems like someone's reluctant to upgrade.
Or can't afford it. Bill. That one's Bill, right?
Not too many left. Seems business isn't so bad around here.
Well, you know what they say. There are only 3 certainties in life. Death, taxes, and people taking advantage of sales.
Is that what they say?
It says private.
Well, that's one mystery solved.
Mostly a bunch of fertilizer and growth tonics.
I like the hat flopping back and forth.
Growth tonics, eh?
Plant growth tonics, Bill.
Oh, God.
Of course. I knew that.
The staircase isn't very well lit.
I'll go first. That way you can catch me if I fall.
We should probably ask for permission before heading up there.
Yeah, we probably should. I think I've looked at everything. Let's go ring the bell. Ring my bell. Ring
Be
my
right
bell.
there.
The hat is the detective, the human is just a vessel.
Oh, hello, gentlemen. I must say you caught me by surprise. I was preparing to close soon. May I help you find anything? The flowers in the center display are half price this week, and I have a special on chrysanthemums today. Or perhaps a custom bouquet for the special ladies in your lives?
I have no need myself, but maybe Adelaide would appreciate a little something. Eh, Miles?
Oh wait, his name's Miles, my bad.
Those peonies in the corner look nice.
I'm afraid we're not here as customers tonight, ma'am. We'd like to have a word with the proprietor. Is he in?
I see. I'm Cecilia Handbrook, and this is my shop. What can I do for you, gentlemen?
I'm Detective Miles Fordham, and this is my partner, William Legere. We received a report of a burglary at your store.
A report? From whom? I never contacted the police before, and I didn't this time, either.
It was made anonymously, but are you saying this isn't the first time it's happened?
Correct. It's happened 3 times. But considering the police hardly care about the daily muggings and vandalisms around here, I didn't think they would be interested in something so trivial.
Well, we're here now, and we'll do all we can to help you.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
We'll have to see about that.
If you wouldn't mind, Mrs. Handbrook, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
I didn't know she was gonna say that too. Yeah, I know. Like the assumption that the man's got to be in charge, but it does look like this is, it does look like this is like a period piece. I still think a lot of people would still assume that today, though.
Very well, Detective.
Oh, I love this. This is like old school style, like point and clicks. But the settings are gone, so hopefully I won't need those. Let's get to know her first.
Have you been in business long?
Yes, I opened this shop 30 years ago, along with my late husband, David. But the past 10 years, I've been running things on my own.
Don't you feel unsafe being here by yourself so late into the night?
Detective, when you've lived in this part of town as long as I have, it takes quite a lot to scare you.
Right, burglaries.
Could you give me the details concerning the burglaries?
About 3 weeks ago on Monday, I noticed that my order of Easter lilies was missing. At first, I thought nothing of it. Sometimes certain types of flowers are unavailable or arrive in poor condition. These things happen. Then 2 weeks ago on Wednesday, it happened again. But this time, I noticed something rather odd.
Go on.
When I opened the shop, there were 6 crowns and 10 shillings on the counter. That's exactly the cost of 2 orders of lilies.
So they didn't actually steal.
Last Friday, it happened yet again. The lilies were missing, and there was payment for 1 order on the counter. I believe that someone has been breaking into my shop after hours, taking the lilies, and leaving money behind.
That is very strange, yeah.
How unusual.
Ooh, clue added. Let's see. I guess we'll just go down the line.
Have you noticed any suspicious characters lurking around?
Detective Fordham, this is Chumley. You can't throw a stone without hitting a suspicious character. And if you've noticed my window, you'd be aware that stones get thrown around quite a bit in this neighborhood. If you're looking for trouble, you're far more likely to find it out there than in here.
I meant if you'd seen anyone out of the ordinary near your shop.
Only the 2 men from the police who entered it tonight. That is most definitely out of the ordinary.
Detective, everyone is shady.
Have you found any evidence of a break-in?
No, the front door is always locked. My assistant Trevor and I are the only ones with the key.
Maybe it's Trevor.
Are there any other points of access to the building?
The upstairs windows, I suppose, but I make sure to keep them locked, and neither of them have been broken.
Would you allow us to have a look upstairs?
Is that really necessary?
Not without a
I
warrant.
was just about to close up the shop.
Maybe they could come back, like, during the day?
It won't take but a moment.
Fine, I suppose you may, but please, don't dally too long.
Yeah, let me ask about this assistant. I'm curious.
You mentioned your assistant has the other shop key. What can you tell me about him?
His name is Trevor Hastings, and he has been working for me for the past 10 years.
Do you trust him?
Implicitly. I've known him for ages, and he has been my full-time assistant since shortly after my husband died. You're not suggesting he had anything to do with this, are you?
Not at all. I would like to speak with him, though. Where might I find him?
It's Friday, so he should be on his way back from the docks right now. He'll be bringing my flower order within the hour.
Good. We'll meet him here then, if that's all right with you.
I suppose I don't really have much of a choice, do I?
So, this burglar has been paying for the stolen goods?
That would appear to be the case, yes. I really don't think this could even be considered a crime. That's one of the reasons I didn't bother reporting it to the police.
And the other reasons?
Oh, I think I've already made those quite clear, Detective.
I think that's all the information I need for now.
All right, Detective.
I like her. Right, so somebody is somehow getting in, taking flowers, but paying for, like, they're buying flowers in the middle of the night. Maybe it's like a vampire? It's a vampire trying to woo someone. I don't know.
Lost in thought again, eh, Fordham?
Alright, I guess we go to the... Let's see what we got. So, find a point of entry upstairs. Wait for Trevor Hastings and speak to him. 3 orders of Easter lilies have been taken, but money has been left. I don't think I would report it either. It is a weird thing to do. I mean, technically they're breaking in, but they're, like, only stealing flowers, and they're paying for, they're not even stealing, they're paying for the flowers. It's a very strange thing. We have no suspects yet. We have no documents. Okay, so let's go upstairs. Even though, personally, I'd probably just wait until, you know, when it's light out, but whatever.
Interesting choice of decor in here.
Perhaps it wasn't always used as a storeroom, although I can understand why it would have been converted.
Yeah, it is rather drafty in here.
Ooh, that's a good point, Ange. Yeah, it could be someone having an affair, and they don't want to, like, be seen purchasing them during the day. Yeah, that is a good point. That very well could be the case. Alright, what should we... Let's look at this.
A pastoral landscape. Definitely nowhere near here.
I've never much understood art, but it would be nice to see a place like that in person.
Oh, I'm gonna turn up my earbuds just a bit. But it's so... That's also a good point. Like, I don't know, who's buying lilies for someone that, like, as a romantic gesture? I mean, unless they really like lilies. And also no signs of break-in. Someone has a key. Yeah, that's why I'm, like, really wanting to talk to this...
Thinking about life's great mysteries again, are you?
I like how I can't talk, Bill. Goodness. I can't just sit and chat. Yeah, so, like, what's the motive with buying so many lilies? Also, I think I'm gonna turn the speech, like, hold off. Because I don't really need to take breaks in between if it comes too fast. But there's enough breaks in between, so.
I would imagine that keeping a consistent temperature in here is important for the flowers.
When do you suppose this contraption was last serviced?
Hard to say. Definitely not recently, if the dust buildup is any indication.
Alright. Let's check out the window. Ooh. Alright, so it looks like it's latched.
The window latch. Securely locked.
Oh, that's right. I think Haribo's the one that I found that out from. That lilies are poisonous to cats. I've never, like, kept lilies. Or, like, any plants for that matter. Oh, no. That better not be what it's about. There's gotta be more to it than that.
This provides a means of escape from the top floor, or access to this window from the ground. Lamplight City, in all her glory.
Alright, so there's a fire escape, but the window is latched, so it's gotta be somebody with a key. Alright, let's check out these. Is there anything down here? We've already looked at that. Look at the portraits.
A young lady. Perhaps a relation of Mrs. Hanbrook?
I can see the resemblance. Sort of.
Got some paint?
Seems to be the broken pot storage area.
Why not just throw them away, I wonder?
It's likely they're going to be repaired. I noticed some faint cracks in some of the pots downstairs. I've seen this type of device before. It's a special container for growing plants. Specific temperature and water conditions can be adjusted. Seems to be empty right now, though. And judging by the dust, it hasn't been used in a long time, if ever.
It seems Mrs. Hanbrook isn't too fond of steam tech, or just doesn't understand it.
Steam tech.
I don't think this window would serve as a viable means of entry.
It's a nice view, though. You can hardly see the vomit and manure piles on the street from up here.
Unmarked, but if the smell is anything to go by, this is where the flowers are stored when delivered.
I'll keep my distance then.
The thing is, like, if it's the assistant, like, that we haven't even met yet, like, if it's the assistant stealing them, wouldn't he, like, he would know when they're being delivered, so I don't understand why he wouldn't just... I don't know.
It's a good view to be taking in, but we really should be getting a move on.
Alright, Bill. Oh, did I look at this painting? I think I've looked at everything.
A pastoral landscape. Definitely nowhere near here.
I've never much on the...
Oh, yeah, I already looked at that. Should I talk to Bill?
Bill?
What's going on, Miles?
I've heard of honor among thieves, but have you ever known a thief to pay for stolen goods?
Perhaps conducting normal business is just too boring for him. Do you think he might be doing it for the thrill?
There could be any number of reasons. The best way to find out is to catch the culprit and ask him ourselves. You ever miss living out here, Bill?
About as much as you missed stepping in that pile of horseshit last week.
I was distracted by that story you were telling me about your sister. How's she doing out west, anyway?
Well, she's not in the chum, so fantastic. Living here was about as fun as wearing a vest made of meat to a dogfight. I'm glad we both managed to get out. Oh, and by the way, Miles, you didn't do such a great job of cleaning your shoes.
That would explain all the funny looks I've been getting.
Too hipster to buy flowers during regular hours.
What's your impression of dear old Mrs. Hanbrook?
I like her. Good old-fashioned, tough-as-nails chumley woman. Reminds me of my mother.
Your mother was never quite so stubborn. Why do you suppose she's so reluctant to accept our help?
It's a chum thing, Miles. You wouldn't understand.
That's a good point too, Lelamo. Yeah.
Still feeling rough, Bill?
Yes. But I'll feel better once his case is finished and we can go down to the Angel for a pint or 4.
Hair of the dog?
No better medicine.
All right.
Let's get back to it.
All right.
Oh. Bill just likes to stay here, I guess. I guess we'll talk to Mrs. Hambrook again. Thank her
I'll
for...
let you know if I have any more questions, Mrs. Hambrook.
Ah, yes, I'm sure you will.
I guess we leave, huh? Because we have to... We're not gonna actually wait here, are we? Like, inside. Let's let her... Alright, so what is our... Find a point of entry upstairs? There was nowhere else for me to look, right? Homeless person.
He's just pacing back and forth, muttering to himself.
Probably one of the patients from Riverview. Seems like there's more of them on the streets than in the asylum these days.
Man, that horse is loud.
Poor fellow. Looks like the streets are his bed tonight.
Better than jail, I suppose.
He'd at least get fed in jail.
True enough.
Ugh. Can we go anywhere else? It doesn't look like... Wait, am I literally just gonna wait inside? Because it doesn't look like I can go anywhere. Alright, I guess we'll go back in. Alright, hey, we're back. I don't know what we're supposed to be doing. What happens if I just ring this bell while she's standing here?
Yes, I'm right here.
Or we could, yeah, exactly. We could just feed and house people. Detectives, your cop is showing. So, what am I supposed to do? According to the owner, the only points of entry to the shop are the front door and the upstairs windows, both of which she keeps locked. Only she and her assistant have a key. 3 orders of Easter lilies have been taken, but money has been left. I have no documents. I have no suspects. Alright. Maybe I missed something upstairs. I can't go... It won't really let me talk
Does
to...
the smell of flowers put you in a trance or something?
It won't really let me look at anything else, so maybe I missed something up here. I don't think there was... I'm not sure if there was anything else, though, to look at. Fire escape, buildings...
This provides a means of escape. The window latch.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do now. I've looked at the crates. And you can't, like...
I don't think this window would serve as a viable means of entry.
It's a nice view, though.
Did I look at all these portraits?
A young lady. Perhaps a relation of Mrs. Hambrook?
I can see.
A rather distinguished-looking gentleman.
Reminds me of Captain Snelling, if he ever smiles.
So this is probably, yeah, them. Shelf. Crates. Nothing else to... Wait for Trevor Hastings and speak to him. Find a point of entry. Well, I mean... We found a window.
Bill?
Yeah, Bill, do you have any ideas?
What's going on, Miles?
When's the last time you took any time off?
That's a good question. What year is this again?
I think we've both been working a bit too much lately. Addie's been wanting to go visit her mother in Dixie. Maybe we can all go.
Well, that sounds nice, but I wouldn't want to be a third wheel on a visit to your in-laws. Unless... Would Adelaide's brother be there by any chance?
You're incorrigible, Bill.
It's one of my finer qualities.
Got any opinions on the upcoming election?
I'll just be glad when it's all over. It seems like the last few months have been nothing but people giving opinions and telling me what to do without a moment's peace.
I know what you mean. I already saw some kids putting up Atwood posters down my street.
I already drew mustaches in all the ones on my street.
Handlebar?
You know me too well.
I always thought of Atwood as more of a Van Dyke type of man myself.
I can see that. Yeah. Well, there's something to do tomorrow.
Does the point of entry have to be in this room? Probably not.
Let's get back to it.
The problem is
Alright.
I just don't know where else to look because it doesn't look like there's anywhere to go. And unless there's different, like, options for if I look at everything again. Don't want to use the door. It won't let me, like, look at the windows.
It says private.
Well,
Yeah, I think it's all gonna be the
Mostly a
same
bunch of
stuff.
growth.
Plant growth.
Of course. I knew that.
Just, I'm really confused. Oh wait, there's a gap!
Interesting. There's a gap between the window and the frame here. No wonder it's so drafty in this room. I wonder
What are you thinking, Fordham?
that it's time for an experiment. I'm going to need a tool, however. Something long and thin should do the trick.
Shouldn't be too hard to find something like that around here.
That's how I missed it. That's how I missed it. I missed that this said gap. Fire escape, buildings, I totally missed the gap. Alright, finally we're getting somewhere, so we need something long and thin. Maybe something over here?
Fascinating device, although it has nothing to do with the burglaries.
Is there something on the shelf we could use?
Seems to be the broken pot storage area.
Why not just throw them away?
It's likely they're going to be repaired.
I'm like looking very carefully now. Maybe there's probably something more, and maybe we can ask her for something.
I have a few more questions for you, Mrs. Sandbrook.
Very well, Detective. If it will help you conclude your investigation faster.
Yes, hug a squirrel day, love it. But actually, just a PSA: do not try to touch wild animals.
Mrs. Handbrook, were you aware that there's a gap in the frame of the small upstairs window?
Is there? I only go up there to check that the window is locked. I've never noticed a gap. Are you suggesting that's how the burglar is entering the store?
It's a distinct possibility, but I have yet to figure out exactly how.
Well, I trust you'll come to a satisfactory conclusion, Detective.
I think that's all the information I need for now.
All right, Detective.
If not friend, why friend shaped? Oh, trust me, I would love to have. I'd love a squirrel. All right, so what can we use?
Mostly a bunch of fertilizer and growth tonics.
You know what,
Growth tonics, eh?
Plant.
I bet this is the time to dig in the trash. I just know there's gonna be something in that trash we can use to pry open the...
No point wasting.
You finally learned.
Come on, no.
Glad this thing is lit.
Don't worry.
What can we use then?
Looks like they've
Pretty.
Something long and thin. These would work, these hooks.
Aha! This hook is exactly what I need. Mrs. Handbrook, may I borrow this hook for a few minutes? It's crucial to our investigation.
Is that so?
Yes, I promise I'll put it back as soon as I'm done.
Please do, Detective.
Yeah, here we go. Things are happening. Alright, let's go try to pry this open. Oh, they probably, like... Actually, aren't we gonna have to test it outside somehow?
Good. Bill, it's time for our experiment.
And what is this experiment going to be exactly?
Simple. I'm going to see if this hook can get me inside the shop.
Sorry, Lou. Friends are not
Rather
squirrels.
dark
Or
out here.
squirrels
What's
are
your
not...
step then? This experiment of yours isn't worth a broken neck.
I'll be fine. Now then, could you please close and lock the window, Bill?
Oh, we got a new drop. If anybody wants to join the race. Oh.
Well, I'd say this is fairly incontrovertible proof that the building can easily be broken into without arousing suspicion.
Where'd you learn how to do that anyway?
You taught me, remember?
Nah. Are you sure it was me?
Positive. We were a few pints in at the Angel about 5 years ago, and you decided I should learn how to pick locks.
What else have I taught you how to do while drunk?
That would be telling.
Okay, so what have we got now? My experiment with the hook proves that it's possible to unlock the window from the outside by using a hook-like tool. So this already makes me think the suspect is not the assistant. Alright, so let's let her know. Oh!
Ah, Trevor.
Trevor's
Evening,
here.
Cecilia. I've got the order ready to bring in.
Trevor, these are Detectives Fordham and Leger. They say there's been a report about the burglaries, and they're here investigating.
I only did it because I think it's been going on too long. As much as you want to, we can't handle this ourselves.
We can discuss the matter later. In the meantime, the detective would like a word with you.
I'll be needing to bring in the flowers first, if that's all right. Otherwise, some hooligan's likely to run off with them.
My partner will keep an eye on your flowers. Bill, would you mind?
Ah, the glamour of police work.
Alright, let's get to the
Now,
bottom
Mr.
of this.
Hastings, if I could ask you a few questions.
Go on, then.
How long have you been working for Mrs. Hanbrook?
Been about 10 years now, I reckon. I used to help with deliveries now and then when it was her and David, her husband. But after he passed, she offered to make me her assistant. Unfortunate way to get it, but I needed the work. Used to be I had a job at one of the airship yards, but they let me go after I was injured by one of those newfangled steam machines. So the offer came at a good time. Besides that, Cecilia needed looking after, even though she'd never admit it. If I'm being honest, we're both getting a bit long in the tooth. Not sure how much longer we'll be keeping this up, but as long as I'm upright and breathing, I'll be bringing these crates along, even if it is murder on my back.
I admire your work ethic.
I've got a job to do. Not enough people these days seem to respect that.
I was going to get snippy about her attitude toward the player character, but like, ACAB, you go, girl.
Could you walk me through the process of your deliveries?
Of course, there's no great science to it. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons, Cecilia gives me her list of flowers to pick up from the wholesalers. I head over to Gascone around sunset when they get their shipment, and I give them her order. They load up the crate, I pay for it, and then I lug it back here.
How long does that take?
Between moving the crate and getting it across the river on the ferry, a couple of hours. Usually the store's closed by then, so I use my key to get in and leave the crate inside for Cecilia to open in the morning. That's all there is to it. Told you it wasn't very complicated.
Do you ever leave the crate unattended during that time?
No, sir. Never more than a minute. I may be old, but I got good eyes. I'd see if there were anything amiss. Besides that, I check to make sure the crate is still sealed when I drop it off. I'm not about to let Cecilia down by being careless.
Alright. Injured where?
What can you tell me about the recent burglaries?
I wish Cecilia had contacted you a lot sooner. She's a damn fine woman, but sometimes I think she'd rather jump in a rose bush than ask for help. Had to take matters into my own hands. This needs taken care of, and we can't do it on our own, as much as Cecilia would like to. Anyhow, alls I know is someone's been making off with some flowers and leaving money behind. No idea who it could be, how they're getting in, or why they even bother paying. In my day, if you robbed a place, you did it the right way. It's a sad state of affairs when even burglars don't do their jobs correctly.
Do you have much experience with burglary, Mr. Hastings?
Now, I never said that, Detective.
Have you noticed anyone or anything suspicious around here recently?
Nothing but the usual roughnecks, ragamuffins, and drunkards. Like I said, it's a real mystery.
Thanks for your time, Mr. Hastings. I'll let you get back to work.
Appreciate it, Detective. If you don't mind, Detective, I still need to check the crate before I bring it in.
Of course. Thank you again for
Ooh,
your
is
help.
anybody gonna make it? Oh, I think Yuka has a chance. What?
Anything?
Possibly. I
Oh.
may have an idea.
Ah, you're being cryptic. That's always a good sign. But if you've got a plan, let's talk about it.
Oh, Ioka, that was so close.
Got a minute, Bill?
For you, Miles, I've got 5.
Any thoughts on Mrs. Hanbrook's assistant, Trevor?
Yes, I feel sorry for him.
Why? He seems to enjoy his work.
Nah, it's not that. He's obviously smitten with Mrs. Hanbrook, but she won't give him the time of day.
What? You only saw him for a few moments. How in the ether did you get that impression?
The way he looked at her, the way he spoke when he confessed to contacting the police. Shall I go on?
No, that's fine. I see what you mean.
Really?
Personally, I didn't get that
You'd be
impression
surprised
at
what
all.
you can
but-
learn from people if you just look at them.
Why bother doing that when I've got you to do it for me? Right. Based on what we've been told in our experiment, I can only conclude that our burglar is using the upstairs window to get into the shop.
So what do you propose we do about it?
It's happened repeatedly over the past 3 weeks, on one of the delivery nights. Since it has yet to occur this week, and today is Friday, logic dictates it should be tonight.
So we settle in and wait to see if the burglar returns? Catch him in the act?
Exactly. It's our best chance of solving this before the trail goes cold.
And I was really looking forward to getting that drink at the Angel tonight, too.
I know, but it's as you said yourself. There'll be plenty of other opportunities. Besides, forbearance is good for the soul.
Spoken like someone who truly has no idea how to have any fun.
I'm sure I'll get the hang of it one of these days, especially with your expert tutelage.
Okay, let's go have a chat with Mrs. Hanbrook. I'm sure she'll be delighted to know we're spending the night. Damn, I forgot to bring my deck of cards again.
At least it's quiet up here. I'm surprised we didn't go deaf after the last time we did this.
What?
I said... Oh, right. Your sense of humor remains on point.
Miles, have you ever considered leaving all this behind?
What, you mean quitting the force?
The Force, the city, going off and seeing what else is out there, you know?
I'd miss it too much. Wouldn't you?
I was thinking I might visit Harley out west. She makes it sound like a dream in her letters. Wide open spaces, fresh air. I know I'm a city boy and would probably miss New Britannia's filth and squalor after a week, but...
You should do it. Change of scenery never hurt anyone. Plus, it's much easier for you than it is for me. I've got a family to consider, after all.
Ah, right.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that, Bill. It's just...
Shh. I think I heard something.
Whoa!
Oh, no.
Bill?
That's a big person.
Stop! Police!
Damn it! He's got up the fire escape. We can corner him on the roof. Stay close and keep me covered.
That guy was big. This one's huge.
Bill!
Stay back, officer. Knife. Ready your pistol for him.
But you're too close!
I trust you, Miles. Your pistol, now! There's really no need for this, officer. I respect your desire to uphold justice. Mine is more important. If you let me go, I won't come back. And we can all forget this ever happened. Don't listen to this lunatic, Miles. Take your shot before things get worse.
Oh my god. So we have a choice here, reason with burglar or take a shot. Like, if we try to reason with them, is it gonna get our partner, like, stabbed? It's lots of choice? Oh. I don't want to take the shot. I mean, he is threatening our partner. But, like, should I run a poll? Should I run a poll? Should I let the chat decide? Alright, I'm taking the shot. I'm taking the shot. Here we go.
No!
Ah! Did I...
Bill! Oh, God! I am so sorry, my friend. I am so sorry.
Oh my god! Wait, what if it happened anyway? Who told me a few minutes ago, what if I shoot my partner?
Rough night?
Oh my god. Ah! Oh my god! Sorry, I just spilled water on my keyboard. It's all going wrong. Can we go back? I'm not going back. I'm not going back. We're gonna play this out how we decide. And if we shot him, you know, we shot him. I have a feeling though, I don't know if this is the case, but I have a feeling that it wouldn't matter what we decided. I think something would have happened to him. I guess either the burglar would have killed him or, you know, it was us. So I think either way, we'd probably feel guilt over what happened. So we're going to play it out. We're going to make our choices and we're going to, you know, make our bed and lie in it. But I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. So I mentioned this case was the prequel, so to speak. I don't think there was any way your partner survives. He has to haunt you through the game. And by haunt, I mean make ridiculous commentary while you try to work. Oh, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. All right. So where are we?
Overdid it on the soporific.
Did this say months later? I can't remember.
Why do I feel like I've had this conversation before?
I'm just glad you're in the mood to converse again. Seriously, you took so much of that snake oil last night, I was starting to think you wanted me quiet for good.
3 months later, thank you. I was panicking over spilling water. I don't want to ruin another keyboard. Oh, that sounds too harsh. I don't want to go with that.
It's no personal slight. I just need some quiet time, or I'll go insane.
I get it. We all need our space. I know it's not easy, but there's really no need.
Not easy. Bill, I've been hearing your voice since you died. You don't shut up unless I take that accursed medicine. I'd say that qualifies as a bit more than not easy.
Yeah, well, how do you think I feel? You think I enjoy being trapped here, listening to you whine about how hard your life's become? You at least still have yours.
Oh, damn.
If you're just as miserable, why don't you just go away and leave me in peace?
Believe me, I wish I knew how. But the bottom fact is, you're stuck with me. So you can either keep living this way and ruin your life even more than you already have, or you can do as I've told you and try to figure out a way to let me move on.
Bill's voice actor sounds familiar to me. Or maybe he just talks like somebody that I've heard before. Wait, did we I guess we never found them.
Right. For the 1000th time, you want me to find the burglar from the flower shop.
Yes, exactly.
I still don't get how that's going to help.
I can understand your confusion, considering it was you who killed me. But the point remains. You wouldn't have been in that situation in the first place if not for him. Once the criminal has been caught and is in custody, we'll both get what we want.
Justice?
More than that, you'll have that elusive thing you always wanted to give others. Closure.
You do realize the trail's pretty much frozen at this point. Our man has seemingly vanished into the ether.
That's no excuse not to keep trying. I know the cases Upton's been giving you these past few months haven't been the most thrilling, but they've at least kept you active. So just keep at it. Something has to turn up eventually. Unless, of course, you want to wind up in Riverview Asylum. And if that happens, I'm really not going to keep quiet.
Fine.
Good man. Now, I suggest you stop talking to thin air, or Adelaide's going to start wondering if you've gone mental. Or just maybe, she'll stop wondering.
Very funny.
Okay, who's this? Is this Adelaide?
I always like that self-portrait of Adelaide's mother, even if the eyes do always follow you around the room. That's a fun little apparatus Adelaide got you. Very soothing.
Watching it spin long enough puts me right to sleep.
I'd say that's really more the soporifics doing. Remember before you started taking that medicine and you could actually read a book for more than 10 minutes before falling asleep? You were a lot more fun to talk to back then.
Dang, I wonder what our case book looks like. No current case. No, we're completely empty.
I'm certain a permanent indentation in the shape of your rear is starting to form on that thing. Wouldn't you say it's time for a change of clothes, Miles? You've been wearing that coat for who knows how long.
So? Addie gave it to me. Besides, it gives me character.
Right. Brooding detective in a long black coat. That's never been seen before.
What are you talking about, Bill?
Never mind. You should have let me be buried wearing my hat. At least it wouldn't be gathering dust like it is now.
If I'd done that, it would be dust right now.
Heh. Fair point.
Oh.
Pretty, but I'm glad I don't have a sense of smell anymore. Adelaide's last performance. She could really bring the house down.
So Adelaide must be a singer.
Cozy little winter getaway. That would be a welcome change from the winters in this city. Don't worry, Miles. I don't watch when you and Adelaide are having your private time.
Oh,
It
God.
would be nice if you didn't spend the whole time humming.
I thought you appreciated some romantic music.
No sense of smell, anosmia. Unfortunately, Bill was just, like, allergic to flowers, I think.
Miles, care to explain what you're doing?
Just checking to make sure everything that needs to be in here still is.
Right. If you start taking that stuff during the day, you're really going to have problems. Adelaide's mother certainly enjoyed pressing flowers. Do you suppose she does more of it now that she's retired? Ha, that poster brings back some memories. That's from around the time you two met, isn't it?
Yes, back when Addie was singing at the Angel.
It's admirable just how organized Adelaide is. Maybe someday the same can be said about you.
Nightstand. Alright, let's get out of here. Him singing.
Well, look who's awake. Ready to rejoin the living?
Yeah.
Very much so.
You were talking in your sleep again.
Did I say anything interesting?
Do you ever?
You have to admit, she's got you there.
How are you feeling?
A touch groggy. I think I took a bit too much of the soporific last night.
That's what I thought. When you went for your after-lunch nap, you'd barely gotten breakfast down. I saved you some bread and cheese if you're hungry.
Thank you, but I haven't got much of an appetite.
You really should regulate your doses more carefully, love. I'm sure dull senses and an empty stomach aren't much help to your work. By the way, a message arrived via courier for you this morning. I put it on the table along with today's newspaper.
Thank you, dear.
Alright.
How are your parents doing these days? It's been ages since you wrote them. I can see why Adelaide calls that plant Miles Jr. It's a spitting image. Didn't I give you two that clock as a wedding present? Too bad it stopped working. You remember how much time Adelaide had to spend convincing you to sit for this? At least these days, with ferrotype tech advancing the way it is, these portraits can be done in just a matter of minutes.
Hang on. He said he got this as a wedding gift, the clock? But I thought, like, at the very beginning of the game, we had just been, like, just dating Adelaide. I didn't know... Were we actually married to her already?
You remember how much time Adelaide had to spend convincing you to sit for this? At least these days, with ferrotype tech advancing the way it is, these portraits can be done in just a matter of minutes.
Bread and cheese is basically a staple.
It might do you some good to look in the mirror a bit
Always
more
good.
often, Miles. Your book collection has always astonished me. Heaven help you if you ever decide to move. Adelaide's father certainly had an amazing life. Imagine being the personal barber to the Prime Minister and his family. The gossip and secrets he must have heard. Building those model ships was a good way to pass the time between cases. Hopefully it'll be a while before you get enough time to build another one. I'd love to see the look on Snelling's face if he ever found out you kept your old truncheon. Ah, the Havisham case. Our first time out as partners. First in a long line of successful cases. It's nice to have a memory of the good old days. Bollingworth Ale. My favorite! And a nice souvenir from the Angel. You really ought to go back there someday. It's been so long since you used that desk. Did you even notice when Adelaide got rid of the chair?
Alright. Should we look at the newspaper or the message first? I'm more likely to look at the message first. Fordham. A big case has come in, which I think will interest you. Meet me at the... Is that Rowan? Rowan Coffee House for more details. Can't tell if that's a V or a U. Looks like a U. So it matches the one in house. The Rowan Coffee House for more details. See Upton.
Upton says she's got a big case for me.
Does she go into any more detail than that?
No, but then you know Upton. Always on a need-to-know basis, especially since she's been giving me these cases under the table.
To be fair, they haven't exactly been anything of note.
True, but she's still sticking her neck out for me. I can understand why she's so secretive about it.
I think she just misses having you around the station.
Poor Connie. With you quitting and me dying, she must be bored stiff at work.
Anyway, I'm supposed to meet her at the Ruin Coffee House. That can't be right.
It's not like Constance to make mistakes. She must have gotten in somehow.
Guess I'll head over there and see what she's got then.
Alright, can I go in there? Oh, that's the front door. So where's this bread and cheese? I'd like some. Woo! Okay, the new Britannia Gazette. Remembering the HMS Ligeia? Ligeia? I said Ligeria. Ligeia? This Tuesday marks the 3-month anniversary of the tragic crash. That's what we saw in the sky at the beginning of the game, I think. It was Gaston Grand Dame dies. Madame Laura Dupree, aged 44, died on Saturday of apparent natural causes. Real, and it's coming. Ethericity? The existence of ethericity, a substance said to possess both energetic and restorative properties, was first put forth 2 years ago by Dr. Bennett Clark. Ethericity. It's real and it's coming. Second bizarre murder baffles police. Investigating a murder in... I forgot how it was pronounced. Similar to one... I think it was... Cholmerley? Similar to one which occurred in that borough just last month. So we got some murders happening, huh? It looks like we'll probably be investigating that. I'd actually like to talk to her because I want to see what her, like, portrait looks like.
Addie?
Yes, dear?
Oh, let's compliment her.
I've still got that song you sang last week at the Rutherford stuck in my head. You were amazing.
Thank you, Miles. That was a lovely evening. I always enjoy it when Joseph brings out his violin and we can relive the old days.
Certainly nicer than when he spends hours telling the exact same story whenever you visit.
They were very glad to see you, you know.
It's probably the most fun I've had in months, to be honest.
They've invited us for dinner again in a couple of weeks, if you're feeling up to it.
I hope I am.
I kind of like his new hair, though. Won't lie. I like the kind of disheveled look. Though I guess he is a bit actually disheveled.
What's that you're reading?
It's a collection of short stories by James Penstroke. It was just published earlier this month.
Any good?
Oh yes, I love his work. He's been publishing a new serial in Brentwell magazine. I can't wait to read it. Perhaps we both can together? I think you'd enjoy him.
Lately, I haven't been able to concentrate on a page for more than 5 minutes without nodding off.
That is a pity.
How's work going? Do you have any appointments today?
Yes, one this evening. It's been a bit slow lately, but pretty soon it'll be debutante ball season, and all the Gascon grand dames will need their hair done.
Gascon.
You sure I can't convince you to let me give you a little trim? You've been looking awfully scruffy lately.
What's the point? I've got no need to go peacocking around town. You're the only girl for me.
I like it when you're clean cut. It brings out your eyes.
The way my eyes have been looking lately, I think it's best to keep them hidden. How are you? It feels as though we haven't seen much of each other these past few days.
I've been fine.
Addie, you're not a very good liar. What's on your mind?
I'm worried about you, Miles.
I know, but I've told you there's no need to worry about me. I'm all right.
You're not all right, Miles. I may not be a good liar, but you can't fool me either.
I am all right. What do I have to do to convince you of that?
You could start by throwing out that sleeping medicine. It's turned you into a different person.
I needed to sleep, Addie. I'll become an even worse person without it, believe me.
I know Bill's death was hard for you. It was hard for all of us. But whatever it is that's bothering you, you know you can talk to me about it. That's what I'm here for.
I know, my love. Your support means the world to me. I need some time to deal with things. That's all. It won't always be like this, I promise.
Making promises you can't keep, eh, Miles? That'll end well.
I'll let you get back to your book.
Oh dear. Alright, well let's head out. I think we've looked at this place enough. Actually, we missed the plant.
That makes me wonder what old Mrs. Handbrook is up to these days.
Alright, let's head out.
Have a lovely day, Addie.
I wish you'd let me fix your hair before you go out like that.
It'll be fine.
Alright, this is... Oh, so we just click on the coffee place. So we're in Worcester. New Prologue. Oh, this is over where we were investigating. We got a swamp. Leon. Hodgman River. Alright, let's head to the coffee house.
Ah, Blue End Coffee House. Worst Java in Lamplight City. But there's no better place to overhear all the rumors and gossip in town. Just make sure you don't get too close to the other patrons. Discretion is never your forte.
Whoa. Alright, I think this is, yeah, Constant Upton who we need to talk to, so let's go straight to them.
If it isn't my old friend, Upton O'Good.
Hello, Fordham. It's good to see you.
How did you get them to let you in here?
It's rather simple, really. The owner and I have an understanding. He pretends women are allowed in coffee houses, and I don't report his unsavory business practices to Chief Snelling.
Sounds like a good deal. What sort of unsavory business practices are we talking about?
Oh, we haven't got time to get into that now. But take some advice. Don't order anything that isn't water.
Wait, is this not like a... Is this not actually coffee? Is that why women aren't allowed? Also, you can't see. Hold on, let me hide the PNG tuber. But, there's a plate. There's plates over here with flies going around them. Nasty. Alright. Managed to sneak another case past Snelling, eh?
I got your message. What's going on?
It's time for you to join the big boys again, Fordham. Your days of finding lost cats are over.
So stop teasing me and tell me what it is already.
Do you know Madame Laura Dupre?
Bootlegger, yeah. That's what I figured. I think we read that name in the paper.
Laura Dupre. She's one of those Gascon grand dames, isn't she?
That's right. I'm surprised you've heard of her. I didn't think you cared about those types of people.
I don't, but Adelaide has several of them as clients. She gets paid to pretend to care about their lives, and I get to hear the sordid details.
Madame Dupre died the day before yesterday. Her funeral was held this morning.
My condolences.
But halfway through the service, the mourners heard a loud knocking coming from inside her coffin.
Oh.
She wasn't dead?
Apparently not. Nearly interred alive, although her doctor swears she had no pulse. Dupre's son Andrew was quick to suspect foul play. He accused a man named Albert Martin, and the police arrested him.
So where do I come in? Sounds like the case has already been solved.
I strongly suspect that Martin is innocent. especially considering the talk of him having used black magic on Dupre. The police feel they have enough evidence to convict, so they're not bothering to investigate any further. You're going to look into it and see if I'm right, then find the person who was really behind this.
That's literally one of my, like, worst nightmares, is being buried alive. Like, can you imagine how often that must have happened back in the day? I'm sure it's less likely to happen nowadays, but damn. Scary as hell.
Has Madame Dupre recovered from her ordeal?
I'm afraid not. Apparently she's been catatonic since they pulled her out of the coffin.
How unfortunate.
If you'd like to question Mr. Martin, he's being held at the Bow Street Jail. Or you could take a look around his house. It's at 451 Compton Street in Worcester.
And the Dupre home?
That's at Emmeline and Comtesse, right across from the old Angeline convent. It's also possible you might run into the police during your investigation, since they're technically still on the case.
Thanks for the warning.
Have you heard the expression...
Was there anything you wanted to talk about before you get started?
You heard the expression "Saved by the Bell." Was that started from, like, when they would tie bells, like, hanging out from graves to make sure that, like, they were actually alive? I guess they'd actually have to have somebody at the gravesite making sure, like, if they heard any bells go off. Wow. I wonder when they started doing that, though. I haven't, like, looked into the history of it. God, imagine someone not hearing the bell, though.
Yes, actually, I had a couple of questions.
Let's hear them then.
How are things going with you?
Work is hectic as usual, and I'm spending my day off in here. But considering my home life is still a shambles, maybe this is the best place to be.
I'm truly sorry about that.
Don't be ridiculous. If it hadn't been for you, I'd still be chained to that philandering bastard. It hasn't been easy, but I'm much better off this way. Trust me. Anyway, work gives me something to focus on. I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yes, and I'm grateful to you for getting me these case leads. I know you're taking a risk to do it.
It's the least I can do. How about you? How's Adelaide?
She's fine, although things between us could be improved, if I'm being honest. The less said about it right now, the better, I think.
I'm sorry to hear that. You can talk to me about it if you need to, although I'm probably not the best person to ask for relationship advice.
Or if it was Wendy. Oh, yeah, true. String breaks.
Don't suppose there have been any developments regarding Bill's murder.
Unfortunately not. The department hasn't exactly been focusing on that case as a priority. The general attitude is that it was an accident. Bill died an honorable death in the line of duty.
Would have been nice if they bothered saying that at the funeral.
And of course there are still those who blame you for his death, Snelling being the first and foremost.
But the man who really caused Bill's death is still out there.
Yes, I know, but it looks like you're on your own if you want to find him. My hands are tied. I can only ask around so much before the higher-ups get suspicious. Just don't give up. New Britannia may be a big city, but the criminal world is surprisingly close-knit. If you find any connections or leads during your other cases, be sure and let me know. I'll do the same if I find anything out.
See, she has a priority straight. You could learn a lot from Upton.
Oh yay, a wisecracking ghost.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
What do you know about Madame Dupre?
Only what I've read about her in the paper. She's been married thrice, which I can empathize with, and she's extremely rich, which I can't.
What makes you think this Martin fellow is innocent?
The fact that the only evidence is the word of Dupre's son. I've seen this sort of thing thousands of times, and I'm sure you did too. They're just looking for a scapegoat. You're the only person I know who can put it right.
Upton's intentions are noble, but she has to realize this is just a drop in the ocean.
That's enough about the case for now.
Okay,
That's it, I think.
then you'd better get back to it.
Or is he more a Jiminy Cricket?
Well, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to help you find the flower shop burglar, but I suppose freeing an innocent man is a worthy diversion.
I like how it looked like this guy was the one saying Bill's lines.
A young woman holding a guitar. Completely the wrong way, I might add. Self-Portrait as a Desperate Man by B. Calvert. A bit like looking in the mirror, isn't it, Miles? Not in much of a hurry to clean up in here, are they?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a Jiminy Cricket situation or not. It just seems like we're hallucinating his voice talking to us. It's probably actually like our, one of those things like our subconscious.
If this is how they store their coffee beans, it's probably a better idea to ask for tea. Asleep at a coffee house. One of life's little ironies. He and his friend are having quite the conversation. I bet it's really boring. Best avoid that one. He looks like he might tip over at any moment. Reminds me of when I was alive. Ah, good times.
I recognize this painting.
Self-Portrait as a Desperate Man by B. Calvert. A bit like...
Oh wait, I think I already looked at that.
Green's Sulfur Soap. Beautifies the complexion and leaves you smelling fresh as a daisy. Talk about false advertising. I couldn't get a date for a week after using that stuff. Simon Banks. Professional chimney sweep. Services start at 2 coppers per hour. Inquire at 305 Merrick Lane. I'm sure he's a lovable urchin, but thankfully, your chimney is clean.
Yeah, sulfur is, ooh, that would not be a good smell.
Dr. Tennyson's Vigor Pills. Absolutely guaranteed to restore vitality, youth, and vigor or your money back. For use by men only. These things seem to have had a spike in popularity recently.
Yeah, vigor pills, eh?
Simon Banks. Professional chimney sweep. Services start at 2 coppers per hour. Inquire at 305 Merrick Lane. I'm sure he's a lovable urchin, but thankfully...
Oh wait, I think I already read that one. Did I read the top one?
Professor Xander Colt Tit III's emulsified soporific, available at all discerning pharmacies. I really don't know why you think taking that rat piss every night is a good idea for him.
It's the dead husband buying flowers for his new wife but still wanting to support his old wife. Or he and his wife are in on it and they wanted to kill this woman off so they could be rich. I would say with the current case that they're going to be investigating, I mean, it's more likely to be someone you know.
All that metal and tubing just to serve a hot cup of coffee? She's running back and forth at lightning speed. Clearly, she dips into the coffee supply. The Specialty House Brews. These are definitely not coffee.
Yeah.
Seems like they have a little something for everyone in here. Judging by the sooty apron, this man is either a metal worker, a chimney sweep, or just really lazy when it comes to washing. Give me an old-fashioned tea kettle any day.
Alright.
Asleep at a coffee house. One of life's little ironies.
I think we've...
What a cheery reminder of everyone's impending death. That whole thing about the man in the black robe, complete lie, by the way.
I'm legit just throwing out the wildest theories. Yeah, at the beginning of the game I was starting to get flashbacks of that one I played with the actual faking the death thing. Yeah, last time I was right about it being the husband that faked his death, yeah. You never know. You never know. Alright, we got a couple of places to look at here. I guess the first thing we should go to, though, is the manor, huh?
You are aware this is private property, sir?
Yes, I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the incident involving Madame Dupre. I assume this is she?
You assume correctly, Mr. Fordham. My apologies, but I thought the police had already made an arrest.
That's right, but there's still some doubt as to the man's guilt. May I ask your name, sir?
I am Dr. Fellows, Madame Dupre's private physician. I'm afraid she is in no state to be answering questions at present.
Are any other members of the family home?
Her son, Mr. Montgomery, is in the entrance hall. I had to give him a mild sedative to settle his nerves, but he should be all right to converse.
Then if you don't mind, I'll have a look around.
Interesting.
Her eyes are glazed over, and she's got a vacant, expressionless stare. She seems completely oblivious to her surroundings. If we didn't know she'd been buried alive, I'd say she was just exhibiting the typical symptoms of your average rich person. This fountain probably looked nicer when it was working, but right now it's just a breeding ground for mosquitoes.
That's the fountain.
With her vast sums of wealth, Madame Dupre could probably feed a starving family for the next 30 years. Instead, she uses the money to keep her hedges trimmed.
We go inside.
With her vast sums of wealth, Madame Dupre...
Okay, we've already mentioned that. Garden. I guess we'll go inside and look around. That's what we said we were gonna do.
Oh, hello. Are you the new servant?
No, I'm Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into your mother's attempted murder.
How did you know I was her son? Oh, of course. You must have sensed it with your detective's intuition. I should have guessed by that giant head of yours.
Alright. Alright.
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Montgomery?
Yes, I'm fine. Much better than when those pesky police officers were snooping around earlier. But I like you, Mr. Fordham. I can already tell you're not like them. Not like them at all. Please, call me Andrew.
Yes. Well, I'll have a look around, and I may need to ask you some questions. Do you think you can handle that?
I can. In fact, I really look forward to it.
If the good doctor gave him a mild sedative, I'd hate to see what the stuff you take would have done to him.
I bet that bird has some answers as well. Right.
What a beautiful parrot. Must have cost the Dupre's a cool copper. Dupre looks like she's holding on to that poor bastard for dear life.
Alright, I guess we'll talk to him, even though I don't know if he's in the right state of mind, but...
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
Oh my god, look at that hair. Oh, and the mutton chops! Sideburns? Whatever you want to call them. Let's ask him about himself first.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
Oh, a little of this and a little of that. Nothing as exciting as what you do, I'm sure. Ooh, tell me, do most bad people start crying when you catch them? I'll bet it's a laugh riot to see them sobbing away.
No, Mr. Montgomery, most of them don't.
Well, that's a real shame, isn't it?
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
She came back from the dead. I couldn't believe it. My mother, resurrected, just like Jesus.
Yes. I heard you're the one who accused Mr. Martin of the crime.
Oh, no, I already talked to the police about that. I don't want to think about it right now.
That's a rather exotic bird you've got.
I like looking at him. He has such pretty colors, doesn't he?
That he does.
You know, I've always wondered what he might taste like. Is that bad, do you think?
I really couldn't say, Mr. Montgomery. Thanks for your time.
No, thank you for yours.
This is ridiculous. He won't be of any use in this state. If it takes him as long to snap out of it as it takes you, we'll be waiting around here until noontime tomorrow. There has to be a way to bring him back to his senses. Maybe that quack outside knows something of use.
Is this an evil kind of horny gay character? I don't know, but I don't like him. They're not making him likable, but I mean, I think they're trying to make all these rich people not likable anyway. Let's check out the kitchen first. See if there's anybody in here we can talk to. I'm sure they have staff. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, it looks like gumbo's on the menu tonight. I wonder how it compares with Upton's special recipe.
That bread looks good. We got some chilies. That's a massive stove.
It's times like these make me wish I could still eat.
Yeah, I'm already hungry. Looking at all this. Alright, let's talk to...
Pardon me, miss.
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm investigating the attempted murder of Madame Dupre.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm very busy. I can't help you.
Do you know anything about what happened to Madame Dupre?
No, I don't. Please leave me to my work. I shouldn't be talking to you.
All right, I'm going.
Looks like the type of spices you'd use in a stew. Most likely paprika or turmeric. Nice variety of reds and oranges. It's times like the...
Oh, I already said that.
Some kind of water dispensing device, maybe? I was never very good at finding my way around the kitchen.
Well, let's go talk to the guy out front, I guess. Or no, we can go upstairs. Exactly, aquarium. Exactly. Although there could be something under this rug. It's very massive.
A horrible little porcelain figurine. Madame Dupre didn't strike me as the type to play with dolls.
Alright. Whoa, we got two bedrooms. That looks like the sun.
Nice bouquet of roses. Although it would make things much easier if they were Easter lilies.
Yeah, I was gonna
Only.
say. Also, aquarium, hello, welcome in. Alright, I guess we'll check this one since the door is open. We'll go there first.
Goodness, someone went overboard with the flowers. This brings back some memories, doesn't it?
Ones I'd rather forget.
I was gonna say, are these lilies? Ooh, is that... Oh, tweezers? Can we pick those up?
These should be useful.
Yeah, love picking things up. Leeches?
Is this really the best that medical science has to offer?
Ugh.
What in the ether is that thing supposed to be? Actually, I'd rather not know.
It looks like there's something that we can read in here.
It looks as though this folded piece of paper is being used as a bookmark.
Can we read it, though?
The science of pharmacology. I'm sure it's riveting stuff. Decadent.
Okay, so... Oh my gosh.
Dr. Tennyson's Vigor Pills. These would make a sloth act like a hummingbird.
I wonder if the sun is using those. Wait, we can pick them up?
The bottle is empty.
Interesting.
A gentle reminder that everyone's time is slowly running out.
We don't need the hourglass, I guess.
I can only wonder what sort of potions Andrew concocts in this thing.
Okay, well, I think we can't pick up anything else, so... Wonder what we're going to be using the tweezers for, though.
It must be a nice place to sit and listen to music. Why would anyone need so many flowers in one room?
Perhaps it's to mask the odors of those chemicals on the workstation.
Could be.
Yeah, I was actually about to say that myself.
Oh, look! It's one of those new audio cylindergraphs. I can't quite wrap my head around how they can manage to get sound out of a wax cylinder.
I'm wanting to see what he says about this.
I don't know much about art, but I see Madame Dupre and I at least have similar tastes.
Oh? Oh, Bill? I don't know if you can hear the music. Ooh, I think we're gonna have like some sort of puzzle with this. Yeah, some puzzle's gonna come into play with that. Got a harp. Turn that off. Okay, well, I've already looked at the workstation. Alright, let's see what we're gonna be using these tweezers for. I have a feeling these rooms are probably gonna be locked, but we'll try them anyway.
Ah, the Gascon Docks. The artist definitely took some liberties. You can't see a single person getting stabbed.
Oh, okay, never mind. We're in somebody's bedroom here.
Whoever lives in this room really likes plants and flowers, don't they? I've never seen so many beauty products together in one place. Doesn't look like they get used much, though.
Alright, so we can't look at that any further. Probably can't open that.
I suppose I shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna be.
Let's have a look through these papers.
Yeah, but there's
What's this?
a key. Dear Miss Montgomery, unfortunately I've been informed of a series of burglaries in the neighborhood near the room you're renting for me at 76 Forest Lane. As a precaution, I've gone ahead and changed the locks. Please find enclosed a copy of your new key. I hope this doesn't cause you too much of an inconvenience.
Interesting. This Miss Montgomery must be Andrew's sister. But why is she renting a room in the Chum? Guess there's really only one way to find out.
Did we pick up the key? Oh, that's documents. What about items? Oh, these are just clues. Question residence. Question Albert Martin in jail. Investigate the rented room at 76 Forest Lane.
Well, someone's fancy. I never liked these types of beds much. They feel too claustrophobic.
I always thought they had a certain appeal myself.
Yes, you would think that about a bed that lets you shut out the rest of the world.
I would love a bed like that. I've always dreamed of having a bed like this with the curtains. Alright, so I can't look at that. Can't do anything with this. I can open the drawers, though.
They're all empty. How unusual.
Not to mention disappointing.
Yeah, that is disappointing. Can't do anything with the rug. Can't open that.
Whoever lives in this room really likes plants and flowers, don't they? Nice little cottage. Looks like it would make a nice cozy spot to retire. If I hadn't already retired from life, that is.
Alright. Well, let's check out the other room next door. The son stole the flowers to cover the smell of what he was making. He'd been planning to kill his mother this whole time so he could get the money. He poisoned his mom. He's only upset because she didn't die. He had to do it at night, so there wasn't someone to connect him with the flowers. Well, I don't know. This is, I don't know if this is connected with the flower case from the beginning of the game. This is like 3 months later, but it's possible. I'd be scared of opening the bed curtains and seeing like a killer clown or something. That is true, that is true. But I think I would sleep better. Personally. I swear I'm going to continue throwing out the wildest stories.
A much younger Madame Dupre. I suppose that's a nice alternative to a mirror. Ooh, a fainting couch. You know, I always wanted one of these, but I never fainted enough to justify buying one.
I love the way fainting couches look. I don't know if I would actually use it though. But it's like a nice old piece of equestrian mesmerism. The Person of Crook Hall. Convent of the Damned and Other Short Stories. The Chestertons, A Brief History. Choice and Consequence. Looks like there's a book missing too. Or maybe a couple of books. Buffalo Skinner, A Wildman's Tale.
Choice and Consequence. Who in their right mind would write a book about that? One of those melodramatic romances. I read it a while back and I couldn't tell you a thing about it. Now that one sounds interesting. I was always a fan of Bedletter's short stories. Doesn't appear to be very brief if there's 2 volumes of it. I wonder if anyone outside the family would find this even remotely interesting. I don't even want to know what that one's about. I read that one last year. If you ever wanted to know the intimate details of a buffalo's anatomy, I highly recommend it.
It would appear that Madame Dupre was taking music lessons.
Her current predicament has probably put an end to that venture, though.
Yes, here's our, Do I need to take a screenshot of this? Just in case the game... I feel like I'm gonna need this later with the harpsichord. There we go. Got that ready for later.
That's an old uniform. From the turn of the century by the look of it. This must be Madame Dupre's first husband. Kinda strange that she'd still keep his portrait in the bedroom. Seems Madame Dupre fancies herself a poet.
Oh, wow. Do I have to read this? Ugh. I don't like this, To dream. Oh, Morpheus, caress my cheek. Bring forth soothing visions. Give me strength when I am weak. Allow me some provisions. In your domain I am as a queen, controlling all I see and hear. I've traveled places I've never been, and know not the meaning of fear. The dove. The dove is pure, serene, and pale, a glowing angel in the sparkling sky. Its gentle coos, unlike the whale, with the cursed crow that will not die. Protect the dove from grim defeat, let it remain in gentle flight. For when the crow's allowed to eat, it covers the world in eternal night. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Was that what it... Yeah, so should we just go press those keys, maybe? I don't know, because there was like...
Well, that was life-changing.
For once in my life, I'm completely speechless.
Then perhaps I should take this with me and read it more often.
We could go try playing it. Oh, I got an achievement. Don't quit your day job. Because we read her poems.
You've got some huge bags under your eyes, Miles. Reminds me of the case we had on that strange train.
Don't remind me. Let's see if there's anything in these drawers. Damn, nothing but personal effects and more stationery.
Don't forget the first rule of detective work. If there's nothing useful inside, check underneath and between.
Ah, yes, of course. Thanks for the reminder.
Now this is intriguing.
Oh, what's this? I am not going to warn you again, you disgusting... something thug. Stay away from my daughter and my house, or I'll kill you. Something looks like yourself. Something, I don't know. Interesting. Wait, let's say what that note says. I'll kill you myself. Yeah, that's what it must have said. Interesting. Wait. Oh yeah, that was the landlady, right. Okay. Interesting. Got a little information there. Let's go try that harpsichord again. Slur from biracial people. Oh! Thanks for the insight, Bree. I couldn't actually make out what it said, and I didn't know that. Oh, we didn't try these drawers. Hold on. We gotta look in all the drawers.
This is always my favorite part of detective work.
Snooping?
Nothing inside but a bunch of extra doilies.
How disappointing. Maybe you should steal one, just to spite Madame Dupre for not giving us any good clues.
No, Bill.
You're no fun, Miles.
Well, we definitely have more questions that we can ask now. Alright, let's go try this, let's go try this. Alright, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Oh, was it low C, though? It didn't say, so... G... Middle C. High C. It was low C? Okay. All right, C. D. E. G. A, B, C. That didn't do anything. Did I do that right? I think so. Or was it... Oh. No, it keeps going to middle C. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so I did it wrong. So it just goes across. Didn't do anything. Maybe we need more clues. I was thinking like something would open. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Yeah, that is what it looks like. Try from middle C? Yeah, we could try that. Oop. Actually, maybe I should. Oh, it auto-saved. We'll save anyway. Alright, let's try middle C then. Nope. Interesting. I really thought that would have done something. Maybe we need to get more details. We'll wait until we get... Can you play the piano in real life? I have a feeling that you can. Actually I can, but I can't read music. But I can play a few songs by ear. I used to play a lot of, like, Lord of the Rings. And Phantom of the Opera. Yeah, I used to, like... I haven't played in a long time. We've got an electric piano downstairs, but the plug has been missing since our last move. So I haven't even been able to play if I wanted to. Alright, let's go ask some questions. See if we can get any more information out of these people.
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
That was definitely middle C. I don't understand. Yeah, I think maybe... I think we're gonna have to get, like, some more information. We're probably gonna have to come back later with an actual song.
I found this bottle of pills upstairs. Are they yours?
Yes, I take those from time to time when I'm feeling tired.
You seem to be out.
Yes, that is a pity.
Where do you usually acquire them?
Oh, they're available by mail order only. I'll have to remember to request some later.
Oh, you play a little too, Bree. That's nice. I had to leave my keyboard home when I moved, and I just haven't gotten another.
I found a letter upstairs addressed to a Miss Montgomery. Who is that?
You were snooping around up there? Naughty, naughty, Mr. Fordham.
It's part of my job. Now, are you going to tell me or not?
Nope. I don't think I will. You're the detective. I'll let you solve that mystery yourself.
I think this mystery could be best solved with a punch in the nose. God, I wish I still had fists.
Thanks for your time.
No, thank you for yours.
Ugh. Alright. Useful tool for reaching things too small for human hands to reach, or for plucking those pesky long eyebrow hairs. Alright. We have no suspects. Alright, let's go talk. Oh, I can talk to the parrot! Yes! Is it gonna have its own little portrait?
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
Ray is a pretty bird.
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you.
Pieces of 8?
Hi, matey.
So long, birdie.
Bye-bye.
Right. We've been in the kitchen. We'll go talk to them outside first. Plus, I don't really want to bother the woman in the kitchen. Can't talk to her, so let's talk to the doctor.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
Yeah, let's ask about that sedative. Well, let's get to know him first.
How long have you been Madame Dupre's private physician?
5 years, and I've been practicing medicine for the past 30. I still spend a couple of days a week treating patients at Riverview Asylum.
Oh, good. Maybe if you're lucky, he could be your doctor someday.
30 years is quite a long time. You must have seen some incredible advances in the field of medicine.
I have, yes. I can only wonder how things will change with all this talk of ethericity. There's speculation it can be used to restore necrotic tissue and instantly heal broken bones, among other things. If you ask me, a good bloodletting will never go out of fashion.
Ooh. I don't know about that.
May I ask exactly what kind of sedative you gave Andrew?
A simple tincture of laudanum. It's what I give all my nervous patients.
He seems a bit out of sorts.
Hot? Meat kettle.
It can have that effect, but it usually wears off in half a day or so.
Is there a way to bring him out of his condition sooner?
A stimulant would have the opposite effect, but I wouldn't recommend mixing the two. It could have potentially harmful effects on his heart.
Oh, of course. I wasn't planning on doing anything of the sort.
Bingo.
I was just curious.
It's cute how you act like you have no experience in these matters. It's almost convincing.
Tell me about Madame Dupre.
She is a great woman and a pillar of the community. I cannot imagine why something like this could happen to her, or how someone could be capable of such a barbaric feat. Though this ordeal has been terrible, I am confident she will overcome. The power of her physical constitution is surpassed only by her strength of character.
Do you think he'd say the same things if he wasn't on her payroll? I highly doubt it.
I'm kind of suspicious of both because the doctor would know how to mix the medicines. But it also could be the son, you know, because he's probably in the will, you know, for inheritance. And also, he might have just wanted the sedative, you know, just to help with the whole pretending to be upset with it.
Did you examine Madame Dupre after she reanimated?
Of course. Physically, she appeared to be in fine health aside from minor dehydration. I found no marks or bruising on her body. Mentally is a different story, however. She's remained in an unresponsive state ever since.
Do you have any opinions on what caused Madame Dupre to appear dead?
The most likely cause I can imagine is some sort of poison or toxin.
What leads you to believe Madame Dupre was poisoned?
The symptoms she experienced were consistent with prior cases of poisoning I've studied. And didn't the young man arrested have ties to some kind of black magic cult? There have been reported cases of these practitioners using poisons to make people appear dead, then commanding them to do their bidding. I recall reading about a man in the West Indies who was given tetrodotoxin, that's the toxic secretion from a pufferfish, declared dead and buried. He appeared alive in his village some 20 years later.
Doesn't that seem a bit far-fetched to you, Doctor?
Facts are facts, Mr. Fordham. Surely someone in your line of work can appreciate that.
What were the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupre's supposed death?
Her son, Andrew, sent for me a few days ago after finding her unconscious and unresponsive. As I was unable to detect a pulse or breath, I had no other recourse but to declare her deceased. I judged that Madame Dupre had likely suffered a sudden cardiac arrest. It was most shocking to be proven wrong at a funeral.
I can imagine. Where was the funeral held, by the way?
St. Denis Cemetery. Madame Dupre wished to be interred in the tomb of her father's family, name of Chesterton.
Perhaps I'll go have a look.
Alright, we got a graveyard to look
Those
at.
are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
Alright, so let's see if, question residence. This hasn't gone away, so I don't know if that... We could try going back in the kitchen, maybe? I don't know if it's gonna clear that off, because we're probably gonna come up with more questions. You never know.
Pardon me, miss.
I told you I'm very busy, and I'll get in trouble if I'm caught speaking to you.
All right, I'm going.
Okay, yeah. Alright, so I think we can go elsewhere. I don't think there's...
Judging by the amount of food this family probably eats, washing the dishes must take forever.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else for us to...
Certainly no shortage of bowls or food preparation items around here.
Spice jars... Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else in the kitchen. I'm standing by the sun, did it? Yeah, I'm definitely, like, leaning more on the sun. Because I don't know what the doctor would... I don't know what the motive would be for the doctor. We don't need to talk to him, Well, let's see if it lets us.
As it is to
Okay, yeah. Let's just head out. Let's leave the house, and I think we'll go to the jail next. Because I want to see... Why are they trying to pin it so much on this one guy? Like, I want to see, like, if he's actually suspicious. Because I'm more suspicious of them. Brave, Forest Lane. What was it, Forest Lane? I might have to look at my...
Fordham? Is that you? You look like something the cat spat up.
Hello, Giles. It's lovely to see you, too.
Giles? I would have thought that was pronounced Giles, but...
What brings you around the jail? I thought you'd quit being a detective.
I'm looking to speak with Mr. Albert Martin.
Oh, I see. Well, that's him in the first cell there. I'd say what needs saying as quick as you can, though. He's headed for the gallows in the morning.
What?
Already? But what about a trial?
No trial necessary when there's black magic involved. This little half-breed's already sealed his fate.
Such a charming fellow, isn't he?
Oh, we gotta get this guy out of here.
Mr. Martin?
Who are you? My lawyer?
No, I'm actually here to help you. The name's Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator.
How are you going to help me?
I'm looking into the attack on Madame Dupre. I believe you're innocent.
Oh, thank heaven. That's music to my ears.
Would you mind answering a few questions for me?
Friend, if it means saving me from the noose, I'll tell you nothing less than God's truth.
Interesting choice of phrase for someone accused of using black magic.
That's what they were... Yeah, in the letter. Alright, let's get... I always like to get to know the people I'm talking to first.
How did you end up in here?
I was just minding my own business at home when the police showed up with no warning. They made some outrageous claims about me putting some sort of curse on Madame Dupre. The next thing I knew, I was here. Oh, Mama must be beside herself with worry. I just hope she's all right.
Oh.
What does your mother do, Mr. Martin?
She helps people.
I was hoping you'd be just a bit more specific.
She provides spiritual help to those who seek guidance.
She's a spiritualist.
Not quite. She's more like... How can I explain it? You know how a priest holds mass to spread the word of God to the people? My mother holds services and calls on the spirits to walk among us, providing healing and guidance.
So she's a religious leader?
If you want to give her that title, it would be the most appropriate.
And does this religion of yours have a name?
You'd probably know it as voodoo, but it doesn't mean what you think it does. People are so quick to judge and portray us as evil when they have no idea.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
What's to tell? She's a twisted, evil woman who got what was coming to her. Whoever attacked her deserves some sort of reward for the service they're doing the community.
So it wasn't you then?
No, I'm innocent, Mr. Fordham. You have to believe me.
I'm afraid
I
you're not
believe
making that very
she
easy
probably
right now,
was.
Mr. Martin. Do you know anything about the circumstances of Madame Dupre's supposed death?
No, I had nothing to do with it.
Then why did her son accuse you?
Probably because he's just as ignorant as she is.
What I meant was, how did her son know to accuse you? Have you had any contact with the family before?
Yes, you could say that.
Uh-oh. That gleam in his eye says it all.
You see, I'm involved with Dupre's daughter,
Oh.
Juliette Montgomery. Dupre doesn't like that one bit. She She even threatened me once.
We found the
Is
notes.
that right?
Yes. She might have everyone else fooled, but that woman is the devil incarnate. I can't understand how something so heartless and cruel could have spawned someone as pure and, loving as my dear Juliet.
He's not really helping his case much, is he?
Tell me about Juliet.
She's wonderful. Such a beautiful, kind soul. She hasn't come to see me yet, but I'm sure that's because of all the confusion in the last few days. Juliet wouldn't believe for a second that I would be capable of harming her mother. I'm sure of it.
How did you two get involved?
We met at the university.
Your classmates?
Hardly. They wouldn't allow someone like me to enroll there. Juliet studies botany. I work as an assistant in the greenhouse. We started talking, and she actually treated me like a person. To everyone else, I was just the boy who fetched the test tubes. But Juliet actually wanted to hear what I had to say. Had the same taste in books and art. Didn't just treat me like some piece of gardening equipment. She even shared some of her notes with me after I told her I was interested in botany as well. From there, things just got better. I don't expect you to understand or approve, but that's how it happened.
Oh, you'd be surprised. It doesn't sound too different to how my wife and I got together. Except I was a detective and she was a singer at a bar.
And she's...
Yes, Mr. Martin. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. How often is Juliet in the greenhouse?
Every weekday, but I doubt she's there now. She's probably trying to find out where I am and working to have me released.
Somehow, I wouldn't bet on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Poor guy. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to find the daughter now.
So you practice voodoo, do you?
Are you making fun of me, Mr. Fordham?
No, of course not. Apologies if it seemed as though I was. It's just that the police are convinced that black magic was involved in Madame Dupre's apparent death.
That's because that idiot son of hers knew about my mother, and like all bigoted fools, assumed that we're involved in devil worship and the black arts. But I can assure you that this is most certainly not the case, Mr. Fordham.
Of course, I didn't mean to imply.
Just forget it.
That's all for now.
Wait, before you go, would you do me a favor? Would you go see my mother at our house and give her a message?
You're at 451 Compton Street, right?
Yes, that's right. Could you tell her I said St. Rock's dog is barking?
I suppose I could do that, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Whatever happened to a simple I love you?
I wonder what that means. So, Mr. Martin knows botany. I don't know if he would know, like the medicines and all that involved.
I bet that's a direct line to the police department. You should make a rude noise into it when Giles isn't paying attention.
Yeah, I would like that.
Either crime is low, or the police aren't doing their jobs very well.
Right. Let's go... I think we'll go straight to Mr. Martin's mother. Which... we gotta investigate that rented room, too, but I kind of want to go to the mother's house first. That was... Oh, we can go to the university. Oh, we're going all over the place, huh? Alright, let's go here.
Ah, Compton Street. We're not too far from Restaurant Row. When's the last time you ate, anyway?
Please, let's not add eating to the list of things to nag me about.
Wait, maybe he's the one that was stealing the flowers for the daughter. I don't know, because it didn't sound like the guy that, was threatening our partner.
Bonbon's Restaurant. I never got a chance to go, but I hear that deviled eggs are simply divine.
Oh my god. The horse carriage going by, I could barely hear the dialogue.
Considering how many eating establishments are in this neighborhood, the butcher picked a fantastic spot to set up shop. I do notice a distinct lack of stray cats in this neighborhood, though.
No, not the cats! No, not the cats. I mean, he's saying that he's making a thing that, like, the butcher is, like, killing the cats, but it made me think earlier when we were talking about the lilies.
One of Atwood's re-election posters, sorely lacking a mustache. Go on, Miles. fix this grievous injustice.
Not now, Bill. There are more important things to worry about.
Spoil.
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
I'm glad that Coulson still uses horses. I don't trust the new self-driving cabs.
All right, let's go.
I'm sorry, I have no time for visitors today.
Albert gave me a message. This'll get us in.
You're Albert Martin's mother, aren't you?
Who are you?
Miles Fordham. I spoke with Albert, and he told me to give you a message. He said to tell you that St. Roch's dog is barking.
Oh, I see. That's good. That's very good. You better come in, Mr. Fordham. Standing on the street just won't do. Welcome to my home, Mr. Fordham. I am Sabine Martin. I hope you understand that Albert has nothing to do with this awful business. Would you care for some tea?
Well, her tune certainly changed when you gave her that message. I wonder what it meant.
Yeah.
No, thank you, ma'am. I won't be staying long.
The Virgin Mary? I must admit she was the last person I was expecting to see in here. A rather unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me the willies.
Does it though? I can't even make it out.
That pattern resembles a flower. Too bad it isn't an Easter lily. It's some old man with a dog standing at the center of a crossroads. If that's meant to have any sort of significance, it's completely lost on me.
Oh, we can actually open the curtain.
Interesting. Those pots look as though they've been wrapped in tobacco leaves.
That is interesting. All right.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
What exactly is it you do, Mrs. Martin?
I provide services to the public.
A delightfully vague answer if there ever was one. Give me something a bit more specific, please.
I'm a Mambo Asugwe. That means I'm what you call a voodoo queen. I'd give you a detailed explanation of the responsibilities and duties of the role, but your time would be better spent clearing my son's name.
I also stayed away from all the stuff yesterday. It was also National Cheese yesterday too, apparently. But yeah, there was too many other things to too many other better things to spend one's time with. Yeah, I guess.
Can you tell me a bit more about your religious practices?
What I can tell you is that the ignorant whites in this city are afraid of us for no reason. Voodoo is not about black magic or dark spells or turning people into the living dead. It's about healing and life. Naturally, there are misguided souls who may try to use it for ill purposes, but I am not one of those.
Sounds like you hit a sore spot. Might be a good idea to stop pressing her on this angle.
Do you think your son is capable of doing what he stands accused of?
Never. Albert wouldn't harm a fly.
That's what the mothers always say.
Why don't you tell me a bit more about him then?
He started working at the university laboratory a few years ago. I was so proud of him. The university is quite selective, you know. The same for its staff as well as its students.
Yes, I've gotten that impression.
I always told Albert to be careful around those high society types, but that one always thinks with his heart first.
Is she sure that's the correct body part?
He's all the family I have, Mr. Fordham.
Oh, Juliet, yeah.
What do you know about Juliet, Madame Dupre's daughter?
I know Albert was smitten with her, no matter that I told him to be very careful around her kind. Those rich Creole families don't care much for people like us. To them, we're just a help. But from his telling, Juliet sounded to be a decent soul. It's a shame the same can't be said for her kin.
If you'll indulge my curiosity, what exactly was the meaning of Albert's message?
Saint Roch is the patron saint of dogs, as well as the falsely accused. If he sent the message along with you, it means he trusts you, and that I should too.
Oh,
I see.
I mean, I figured it was
Perhaps
something
you
like
were
that.
hoping for something more? That's just the way of mysteries, isn't it?
How do you mean?
The thrill of the unknown is always more exciting than the truth. Mystery makes life a little more interesting.
True, but if mysteries were really better unsolved, I wouldn't have a job. Do you know anything about Madame Laura Dupre?
I never met her in person, but I know plenty about her.
Like what?
Nothing fit for polite conversation, Mr. Fordham. But I can tell you this. Laura Dupre has far more enemies than she lets on.
Does that include you or your son?
It most certainly does not.
Let's get some tea.
I think I'll take you up on your offer for tea, after all.
All right, Mr. Fordham. You'll have to give me a few minutes to heat up the kettle. I'll be back shortly.
Yeah, exactly. If the daughter is such a good soul, where is she? Yeah, I don't trust any of them.
Amazing. Even more voodoo stuff back there. Why would she keep these particular items hidden from view?
Good question.
They obviously have some importance to her. I'd suggest asking, but I don't know if that's the best idea given how sensitive she seems to be about the subject.
Yeah. I'm thinking not.
The tea should be ready in a few minutes, Mr. Fordham. You can help yourself once it's done.
You're very kind, Mrs. Martin.
Should we ask her about it?
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
About that back room of yours.
I beg your pardon?
I don't know about this, Miles. Is this really a road you want to go down?
Ooh. She did say something about mysteries being...
Actually, never mind. I misspoke. Thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
I'm just wondering, like, what are we supposed to do? I feel like we're supposed to ask about it.
A rather unremarkable book collection, For all we know, that rider is some sort of demon. He looks like he's having a good time, at least.
Can I go this way? What's gonna happen if I open the curtain while she's sitting here, though?
I'm afraid that room is private, Mr. Fordham. I must respectfully ask you to not go in there.
Of course. My apologies.
Is there anything on the rug? Nothing on the bookshelf specifically. Pots. I feel like the game wants me to ask, though. I think it definitely does.
She's not gonna be much help right now. That's not to bother her.
What? Oh, we can't press her because we dropped it. I'm just not...
It's some old man with a dog.
I just don't know.
The pattern resembles a...
I don't know what I'm supposed to do now, though. We'll see what we've got. Yeah, we need to go find this Juliet. Oh, so Juliet's at the university. Okay, yeah, that was... A series of burglaries. The cases come in, which I think interesting. Yeah, I guess I can't press her again, so I don't know what I'm supposed to...
She's not gonna... There's no way you'll be able to look behind that curtain while Mrs. Martin is in the room. You'll need to get her out somehow.
What if I try to leave?
Aren't you going to have your tea, Mr. Fordham?
I'm afraid I just remembered something important I need to look into. Perhaps later.
Suit yourself.
Okay, we should have pressed. Well, let's go to the university and see if this Juliet is see what she's all about.
Huh. It's as though we've journeyed to the tropics. I don't know how you can stand to keep that coat on in here. Oh, this is Juliet? I would have not expected her to look like that. Those flowers are definitely not native to this area. They seem to be thriving in their glass tubes, though.
I think we can probably try again later. Most likely. Maybe when we've got a little more information.
One of those cute little Japanese trees that are all the rage these days. Personally, I don't see how giving a tree a haircut is meant to be relaxing.
Pardon the disturbance, but are you Juliet Montgomery?
I am. And you are?
Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into the events surrounding your mother's attempted murder.
Ah, of course.
Have you got time to answer some questions?
Yes, that shouldn't be a problem.
So, you study botany. Fascinating subject.
Are you an admirer of plants, Mr. Fordham?
My wife has the green thumb in the household, but I do have a certain appreciation for them.
Plants are amazing things. Just like people in many ways.
How do you mean?
They need attention and care. Ignore a plant, and it will wither. Give it too much attention, and it will become sick. Plants have many things to teach us, and I greatly enjoy learning from them.
These plants are impressive. Are they yours?
Yes, I've developed a method to make them extra healthy and strong.
They're larger than anything I've ever seen. How do you do it?
Ah, but I can't reveal my secrets, Mr. Fordham. The world will hear about my discoveries soon enough.
Incidentally, do you know anything about Easter lilies?
No, I don't keep or grow those here.
Interesting. There is going to be another ad break in about 4 minutes, but I'll keep an eye on it and make sure I don't go over. Andrew. Who's Andrew again?
What can you tell me about your brother?
Oh.
Andrew, Mama's precious little boy. If you've met him, you pretty much know all you need to. He's had the whole world handed to him on a silver platter. But he's in for a rude awakening someday. Mother can only provide for him for so long.
Interesting.
Do you know anything about the events leading up to your mother's premature internment?
No, it was a complete shock. Mother seemed to be perfectly healthy and full of life. Then, without warning, she was dead. Or so we thought.
I take it you were glad to be wrong?
What a ridiculous question. Of course I was. What sort of heartless beast would celebrate their mother's death?
Oh, I could name a few. Juliet definitely didn't shed any tears over Madame Dupre, though. That much is obvious.
Miss Montgomery, you don't have to lie to me. I'm not going to assume you tried killing your mother just because you weren't upset by her death.
I felt terrible about it. You have to understand, I didn't want her to be dead.
Wait, what?
I just felt a sense of relief. Please, don't think me a horrible person, Mr. Fordham. It's just that Mother and I aren't currently on the best of terms.
What if she tried to? Although I still think it's the son.
Why don't you and your mother get along?
We've never completely seen eye to eye on anything. She always disapproved of anything I did. When I was younger, she used to forbid me from speaking to the servants. I saw no harm in a kind word or smile, but she warned us that if we were too familiar, they would take liberties. Then when I declared my intentions to pursue academic studies, she really went livid. In her opinion, a university education was tantamount to a chastity belt. What sort of man would want a wife with a head full of useless facts, she'd say.
Personally, I've always found intelligence to be quite attractive.
I assume your mother didn't approve of your involvement with Mr. Martin?
A rather forward question, Mr. Fordham. But you're not mistaken. I'm not sure how she managed to find out about Albert and me, but when she did, she nearly had a conniption. As I'm sure you can understand, the situation at home has been less than perfect in the last few months. I'd really rather not dwell on it.
What can you tell me about Albert Martin?
I'm not quite sure where to begin.
Why not start by telling me what your relationship with him was?
We met here at the greenhouse. He was working as an assistant, sweeping and cleaning and fetching things for the students. My focus was on academics, naturally. I wasn't too interested in romance. In fact, I've had to turn away nearly every single one of my classmates. But with Albert, I found myself intrigued. I noticed him stealing glances, lingering just a bit too long after bringing over a book or flask, sweeping the same patch of floor near me over and over again. It wasn't too long before I had him bringing me tools and equipment, regularly.
I see.
As I mentioned, Mother was an absolute terror when she found out.
Do you believe Mr. Martin did what he stands accused of?
I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like him, but Albert can be quite passionate. If the police believe he's to blame, then they must have a reason for it. It wasn't
Not
any secret that
necessarily.
I hated Mother. Perhaps I should have ended things sooner. It was satisfying to know that Mother was displeased, but I never imagined it would lead to something like this.
Well, it's nice to see she's all heart.
You mentioned you were friends with the servants.
Yes, that's right. I didn't care that they worked for us. Everyone needs a friend.
Did your mother ever mistreat them?
Mistreat? No, I wouldn't say so. She was always very stern, though, and quite cold. If they ever shirked their duties or misbehaved, they were punished, of course, but nothing out of the ordinary
how?
that I ever saw. Most of the servants are my friends, but I'm closest with Amelie, the kitchen maid. Mother wasn't too happy about that. Amelie's been around as long as I can remember. She's like the aunt I never had.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
And we are at the university. Got a lot of plants. Lots of contraptions.
I've never seen a flower grow that big. What do you suppose they're feeding them? Judging from that pipe, that contraption must be used to keep the plants hydrated. It looks like a giant earwax remover to me.
Alright,
Quite the assortment of plants they keep in here. I wonder...
Alright, specimens. Bonsai tree. There's nothing really, is this... Alright, so there's not much more to look around in here. I guess we could go... I forgot, what was it about the... What was it about the book? Or this... Investigate the Chesterton tomb. Did Albert Martin really do what he is accused of and cause Madame Laura Free to almost be interred alive? Or was it someone else? I think it's definitely someone else. Or at least I hope it is. Investigate the rented room at 76 Forest Lane. Alright, let's go check out this house. This one? Yeah. This is the one that has had break-ins.
Egad! Is this someone's room or a jungle?
Quite a fascinating array of plants in here. Not to mention the machinery on the table.
Seems like Juliet is very interested in getting extra credit.
This is the room. This is the place that Juliet was renting, right?
I wonder what sort of fertilizer or growth tonic these plants are getting. Whatever it is, it's definitely working.
Okay, bookcase. Anything on this bookcase?
That's quite the book collection. It almost puts Adelaide's to shame.
All impeccably cataloged and organized as well, which makes the two missing volumes stand out even more.
Oh no, Bree. If you need a nap, go nap. You don't need to stick around for this. Thanks, Ange. Oh, I need to upload that clip to like I might have it on YouTube.
Those are the most vibrant flowers we've seen in a while. I bet they smell extra strong.
Yes, they certainly do.
It's a good thing you're the one with the nose. This plant makes Miles Jr. look like a single blade of grass. I'm guessing they're probably full of more scientific equipment or plant-related stuff.
Experiment desk. We got some...
They appear to be scientific scribblings. I can't make heads nor tails of them.
That makes two of us.
They appear to be...
That makes two of us.
Okay. I thought that, like... Whoa, what is that? Flies?
They're just doing what flies do best.
Well now, this is interesting.
Etheric effects. Weren't we reading something about a doctor in the newspaper? Larger, more vibrant flowers. Chlorophyll production seemingly triples. Root systems strengthen, increasing capacity to absorb nutrients. Conclusions: plants thrive from exposure to small etheric currents. Further experiments are needed to determine the long-term effects. Etheric effects. Brain is clearly affected, induced in a trance-like state. Muscle control lost, wings flap in predictable pattern. This sounds like what the mother is going through right now. Conclusion: if animals with greater cognitive ability, including humans, are exposed to specific quantities of ethericity, they will go into a stupor, appearing unresponsive or dead. Suspicious.
Just a bunch of technical nonsense. I can't understand a word of it. They're just doing what flies. Etheric pressure. What a bunch of nonsense.
Okay, we can't mess with the gauge.
I have no idea, nor desire, to know what purpose that thing has.
I do. I want to press the button. Let's press it. Oh my god. Oh!
Well, would you look at that? Etheric pressure.
So are we going to talk about what just happened?
Well, would you look? I have no idea.
Okay, he's not going to say anything about that. Right. Well, that's, definitely suspicious. Is that crossed off our list? Yeah. Find a stimulant to bring Andrew out of his stupor.
Those are the most...
Yes, they certainly...
It's a good thing you're the one...
So, maybe... Should we go talk to the university? I think we need to go back to the university. And ask about this room. Because what the heck just happened?
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Do you know anything about ethericity, Miss Montgomery?
You surprised me, Mr. Fordham. I had no idea someone of your profession would know or care about something like that.
I've found that it pays to be open-minded.
To answer your question, yes, I am familiar with the theory of ethericity. In fact, it's recently become a focus of my studies. Despite what the newspapers have been reporting, it's already possible to access it in small quantities from the air around us.
Have you conducted any experiments?
No, my research has been purely theoretical. I don't have the means to do anything practical, I'm afraid.
Deceiver, dissembler, her trousers are alight. I can't understand why Juliet might not want to make her research public, though.
Miss Montgomery, please don't lie to me. I know you've been conducting experiments with ethericity. I've seen the room you're renting on Forest Lane.
What? But how?
Ooh, should we...
I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't find things out, Miss Montgomery. Now please, drop the act and tell me about your experiments.
Fine. I've been researching etheric effects on living organisms. I'm planning on presenting my discoveries to the board once I make more progress. So far, I've managed to discover that plant growth is accelerated significantly. It's given me quite the advantage in class.
But isn't that cheating?
You have no idea how difficult it's been for me to be taken seriously, Mr. Fordham. No matter how hard I tried, my work wasn't valued on its own merits by my peers or professors. I fought hard to get where I am. I wasn't about to lose all that just because some pig-headed idiots didn't think my best was good enough.
That sounds awfully familiar.
What about your notes on the effects of ethericity on animals?
Oh, those aren't complete. I haven't tested the effects on anything larger than flies. Those experiments were mainly to satisfy my curiosity, but they have little to do with my actual research.
Curiosity? Seems like a lot of effort to go to just to answer a question. But then, I never really understood these scientific types.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
But,
One of those cute little... Those flowers are definitely not native.
Alright, so we can't actually do anything about these plants.
Judging from that pipe?
Alright, so nothing more here. Let's go ahead and go to the cemetery. But somebody could have been looking at her research. You know? So that's a possibility. That somebody...
Ah, St. Denis Cemetery. Best view in the city. It's just a shame none of the residents can enjoy it. I think I'm buried around here somewhere. Wonder how the old gravestone is doing these days.
Okay.
Nice view of the river from up here. You can hardly even see the cloud of smog over the chum. This just goes to show you can't take it with you, so you might as well spend it all on a giant tomb.
Okay, I can't look at those.
Looks like people have left markings and offerings in front of this tomb. You may think it's a silly superstition, but I wish you'd leave a bottle of Bollingworth at my grave every now and then. Looks like people have... You may think...
Okay. Let's,
I don't know him. Must be a recent addition to the force. Well, at least he won't recognize you.
True.
If only that police officer wasn't guarding the tomb, you could go in there and raid it to your heart's content.
So we have to get rid of the police somehow.
The plaque says Harrison. Doesn't look very opulent, so I guess it doesn't belong to anyone important. This just goes to
Oh, we can talk to him now, okay.
Good day to you, officer.
Good day, sir. How may I be of assistance?
Nice day for a walk through the cemetery. I need to get into that tomb. I'll just keep moving along.
Sure is a nice day to be walking around the cemetery, wouldn't you agree?
I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. Personally, the noise those bugs are making is starting to drive me crazy.
Would you mind letting me in the tomb, please?
Afraid I can't do that, sir. This tomb is currently part of a police investigation and ain't available for visits until further notice.
I think I saw someone being mugged at the front entrance.
Nice try, sir, but that's clearly a bunch of bull. You're just trying to get me to step away so you can go inside the tomb.
What? No, I would never do such a thing.
In any case, there's another officer stationed at the entrance, so if there was somebody being mugged, he'd see it for sure.
Well, at the very least, it's nice to see the department is hiring competent officers who aren't easily fooled.
Alright, so I can't talk to him anymore? Can I convince him some
Good day
other
to
way?
you, officer.
Afraid I ain't got time for idle chat, sir. Please, move along.
If only that...
Alright, so we can't go in there yet. Is there... What happens if I go this way, though? Is there something... Oh no, it's just either way is an exit. Let's see. Where... I could go back to the mother. Fordham residence. Green Manor. Coffee house. Let's go back to the mother, see if we can ask some more.
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
She's not gonna be much help right now. Best not to bother her.
Oh, really? Okay, well... Let's maybe... I don't know. Should we go talk to the son in jail again?
Could I ask you some more questions, Mr. Martin?
It's not like I'm going anywhere.
True.
Albert, did you hate Madame Dupre?
The woman is cruel, sadistic, and bigoted. When she found out about my relationship with Juliet, she sent me a letter threatening to have me killed if I got near her house or her daughter. So yes, Mr. Fordham, I hated her, but even so, I love her daughter. I wouldn't be so cruel as to take Juliet's mother away from her, even if she hated her too.
I beg your pardon?
Juliet and her mother didn't get along at all. I never asked why, but it was obvious there was something going on.
Intriguing.
That's all for now.
Alright, what we get? Discover the source of Juliet and her mother's rift. Investigate the Chesterton tomb. Find a stimulant to bring Andrew out of his stupor. We can't go back to that place for the flies, but there might be something in that room with, like, the experiments, maybe. Maybe to do something with the flies? Let's go back to the manor, I guess. I think we should talk
This
to
quack hasn't gotten anything more for us to learn.
Okay, never mind. Well, we could go back inside, I guess. Let's go look at the stuff with the experiments. That was upstairs. Can I say anything else to this parrot? No.
So long, Birdie.
Alright, let's go up here. Which room was it? I think it was just in here, wasn't it? There's gotta be something with that piano, though. Is there nothing?
The science of pharmacology. I hope remembering what page they were on wasn't too important.
Oh, we
Looks
did.
like it's a letter for Andrew.
Oh. Andrew enclosed is the agreed upon fee. I wouldn't be able to concentrate on exams without this help. Dr. Tennyson charges an obscene amount. Thank goodness for good people like you with home pharmacies. I'll look for them in the usual spot under the Weeping Angel. Joshua, sorry to hear about your mother. I'll wait a few days before passing by. Oh, what's this under the Weeping Angel, you say?
I got only one.
I didn't even see that.
Is
note.
this really the best? What in the ether is that? A gentle... decadent.
Okay. I can't look at the bottles behind, but we got another note. Has there been any other clues? Tweezers. An empty bottle of... is most likely poison, making her appear dead. Maybe it's something in that coffee shop?
Yeah, it must be a nice place to sit and... Why would anyone need...
Perhaps it's to mask the...
Could be.
Okay. What else in here? Where do we think this Weeping Angel is? Is that the... Isn't that in the... Would that be the fountain? Or... There's a statue down here. This isn't an angel. Can't look in those drawers. There's an angel out on the fountain, I think. Yeah, there's something here.
This fountain probably looked nicer when it was working. There's an angel on it. This would probably be too risky a place to hide something anyway.
But can we look anyway?
This fountain probably looked nicer when it was working. But right now, it's just a breeding... There's an angel on the fountain. But it doesn't look like it's weeping. This would probably be too risky a place to hide something.
Okay, it's not weeping. So it must be... There must be another statue inside.
Dupre looks like she...
Okay, let's check another room upstairs. Gotta find this Weeping Angel. Don't think that's not an angel.
There's nothing useful.
A horrible little... Nice bouquet of roses.
If only.
Okay. What was in here? I can't remember. This was a bedroom. No angels in here.
Locked.
I've never seen so many beauty products together in one. I've never.
Okay, Weeping Angel. What could that mean?
They're all empty.
Not to mention. Well, some.
I always.
Yes.
Okay. Well. What was the other room? The other room is where we found, like, that note. Leave it under the Weeping Angel. And what does this mean? What does this note mean? Is there more to this? The C scale. Don't know.
Oh, dear God. Nothing else.
Nothing in there.
A much younger.
Don't think there. Is it maybe one of these books? Is there something?
One of those melodramatic. Now that one sounds. Doesn't appear to be very. Choice and constant. I don't even. I read that.
Is there supposed to be something missing here? We can't talk to the doctor anymore. I mean, the only other place is the kitchen, but I don't think there's a statue in there. Or it's something to do with the tomb. It's a weeping angel would be probably at a cemetery, wouldn't it? That's a possibility too. Yeah, there's no statue in here. I wonder if we can talk to her now.
Pardon me, miss.
I told you I'm very busy.
Amelie, please. I need to know what you know about Madame Dupre.
What? How did you know my name?
I'm a detective. It's what I do.
Is that right? Well, I don't like people spying on me. I'm sorry, but I don't talk to people I can't trust.
Well, so much for that.
Oh no!
Pardon me, miss.
Go.
Oh no! Should we have mentioned? We should have mentioned. Should have mentioned Juliet. Messed that one up. All right. Well, the only other. Wait. Actually, wait. No, wait. We need to see if we can talk to Andrew more. I forgot because I've. Let's see if we can talk to him.
I have some questions for you.
Oh.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
I'm reminded of a famous quote, Mr. Fordham. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Let us part on good terms and avoid the subject altogether, please.
Thanks for your time.
No, thank you for yours.
Alright, so I think we're gonna find that stuff to take him out of his stupor at the cemetery. So I think we should go back here. Maybe even the coffee shop.
Nice view of the...
I don't know, there doesn't seem to be any... Yeah, there's no statues here either. Damn. Weeping Angel, huh?
She's running back and forth and...
Alright, well let's talk to... Upton.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
Yeah, cemetery officer.
I seem to have hit a roadblock. There's an officer posted at Dupre's family tomb. He won't let me in.
Makes sense. Who's the officer?
I've never seen him before. He's young, has a small scar over his left eye, and a distinct Dixie accent.
Ah, yes, that would be Officer Grant. He's only been with the department for about 2 months. I don't know a lot about him, but he's already got the reputation for being the type of policeman who'd go out of his way to help old ladies cross the street. Typical Southern gentleman, it seems. Perhaps you can use that to your advantage?
Oh dear, these sound effects in the background are really loud.
Madame Dupre's son isn't being very helpful.
Is he refusing to talk?
More like incapable. The family doctor has him pretty well drugged to the gills. I need to find some way to perk him up.
Well, you know, we are in a coffee house.
I have a feeling it will take something a touch more powerful than coffee. That's enough about the case for now.
Okay.
That's it, I think.
Then you'd better get back to it.
Alright, so I guess we have a little bit to go on.
All that.
Oops, I didn't mean to. So yeah, we can't really... Alright, let's get out of here. I think we really need to get into that tomb. That seems to be the biggest thing. Let's try talking to him again.
Good day to you, officer.
Afraid I ain't got time. Please.
If only that police...
Use it to our advantage, but how can we use it to our advantage? Ugh, I'm at a roadblock here. Like for the whole game. I can't talk to the doctor, talk to the son. Do I talk to the... I mean, it doesn't look like there's...
She's busy. That's not to ball. Those flowers. Quite the assortment. One of those cute... Judging from... I've never... Quite the...
Okay, I don't think there's any... Wait, yeah, I've already looked at specimens. It doesn't seem like there's anything here. And it's closed off the one location for us. Oh, magic 8-ball. Can I eat my dinner? Ah, it looks like you can, Lou. How are we gonna...
Welcome back, Mr. Ford.
How do I talk to her again?
She's not... There's no way you'll be able to...
I don't understand what
It's
to do.
some old man with a dog.
Because I can't use anything in my inventory. Like you can normally with a point-and-click game. And I can't talk to the doctor.
She's not... She's... A rather unremarkable... A rather... The Virgin Mary? For all we know, that rider is some sort of demon. He looks like he's having...
There's nothing like the floor. Why didn't I press? I should have pressed. Why would the game like lock me out of being able to do anything though? What am I missing here? Should I go home? Maybe there's something in my house?
I've managed to survive the wild streets of New Britannia.
Good to see you've made it back in one piece. So what's this big case Upton's got you on? Another missing pet?
If only. A Gascon Grand Dame was attacked and almost interred alive.
You mean Madame Dupre? The one whose obituary was in the paper?
The very same.
Goodness, that does sound serious. Tell me if there's anything I can do to help. I know you haven't been feeling your best lately.
You're always a help to me, Addie. Though I assure you I have this well in hand.
I certainly hope so.
Oh, what if we get the drugs from our little side table?
Addie?
Yes, dear?
Distracting the officer, yeah.
Do you know anything about Madame Dupre?
I've read that the Dupres are one of the few wealthy families that exclusively employ real people to serve. Rather commendable, don't you think?
Yes. It makes it even more baffling why she was attacked. Have you heard any gossip from your clients? Anything about who might have wanted to harm her?
Nothing. She's held in the highest regard by the other Grand Dames. If she had actually died, I'd have expected them to petition her canonization.
I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
What is it?
There's an officer posted in front of Madame Dupre's family tomb, and I need to get a look inside. Could you use your wiles and charm to distract him?
My wiles and charm,
Well, you are irresistible, darling. I'm sure he wouldn't turn away a lady in need. Say you've gotten lost in the cemetery and ask him to show you the way out.
Should we really be tricking a police officer like that?
There's no harm in it, and I won't be but a moment inside. It's in a good cause.
All right, let's go then.
All right, let's do it.
Excuse me, officer. I was wondering if you could help me?
What do you want?
I seem to have gotten all turned around. Do you have any idea how to get to the front gate?
My suggestion would be to turn around and head back the way you came.
Yes, I've tried that, but I seem to just be going in circles. Perhaps you could point me in the right direction?
Stop right there. That's quite enough from you.
I beg your pardon?
Don't think I can't tell what your game is. You're trying to lure me away from here and into some alley where your gang of Sambos is gonna rob me blind. Exactly how many of them have you got lying in wait for poor unsuspecting fools you bring them?
Punch his ass.
Just one.
Yeah!
And he doesn't appreciate you talking to his wife that way.
You know, Miles, sometimes I forget how absolutely delightful it is to watch you lose your head.
Miles, was that really necessary?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Addie. You know how I get with people whose minds are full of that rubbish.
Let's just get him out of sight before this lands both of us in jail. That bush over there should work. I have to say, I wasn't expecting assaulting a policeman to be on today's activity list.
It'll be fine. When you're on the force as long as I was, you can pretty much get away with murder.
Although I think you may have already used up that privilege.
Well, it's been fun, but I need to take my wiles and charm over to my appointment with Mrs. Lefebvre. I'll see you at home later, dear. Try to stay out of trouble.
Hey, Charlton. Good to see you. Oh. I'm lurking. Briefly decelerate punching a shitbag in the face. Yeah. It was well deserved. It was well deserved. Ah, Weeping Angel. Here we go. What's this, though?
That nest is full of eggs. But where's the mother bird?
Perhaps she abandoned it.
Always assuming the worst, aren't you, Miles?
Well, this is our Weeping
What
Angel.
a dramatic statue. I'm rather surprised no one has defaced it. Hang on. You don't suppose this is...
Oh, yeah.
Surprise, surprise! A hidden compartment with a stash of pills inside. Seems Mr. Montgomery has a little business on the side.
Oh, what have we got? Homemade vigor pills. Here we go. Is there anything else of use in here?
Crypts are reserved for future generations of Chestertons to rot in.
There are only 3 left.
Then let's hope the Chestertons aren't opposed to spending eternity cozied up to one another.
Alright. Unmarked crypts.
Celine, 1823 to 1844. Taken too soon, rest ye with the angels. John Patrick Chesterton, 1740 to 1825. Patriarch, leader, family man. Jane Scott Chesterton, 1746 to 1815. Ab Aeterno. William Arthur Chesterton, 1770 to 1837.
This must be what was going to be Madame Dupre's final resting place.
I don't see anything inside.
What? Were you expecting a note from her attacker?
No, but I was hoping for some kind of clue at the very least.
There's also, like, a flower missing from here. Alright, so we got unmarked crypts, an open one. Don't really care about...
I suppose the whole heaven shining down upon the tomb motif is good for the dead people's self-esteem.
Okay, well, I think we got what we needed. Let's get out of here before this cop comes back. No, it looks like we can still go back to the cemetery if we need to, so that hasn't been removed. Let's go to the manor and give Andrew his homemade pills.
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
You'll never believe what I found in your family's tomb.
Oh? Was it a ghost?
No, it was these vigor pills. You wouldn't happen to know how they got there, would you?
I see you really are good at your job, aren't you, Mr. Fordham?
Look, Andrew, I'm in no mood for games.
What you're doing is highly illegal. I have no choice but to report you to the police. I'm willing to overlook your unlawful activities in exchange for your cooperation. Just be quiet and take one of these pills.
Just be quiet and take one of these pills.
I suppose one would help. Thank you.
Alright, is he gonna be any different?
My goodness, I always forget how fast those pills work. My heart is racing. You said you had questions, didn't you? Well, go on, ask them already. We mustn't waste any more time.
Well, that seems to have done the trick. I just hope we haven't doomed him to a heart attack.
Well, we used our wife to try to distract the police officer outside the tomb, and he was an asshole to her, so we punched him, knocked him out. And we found some pills inside the by the statue in the tomb, and we had him take one.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
I can't believe anyone would be so cruel as to do what that wretched bastard Martin did to her. Mother is kind and generous, and everyone loves her. She's even good enough to hire actual people to do the housework. Not many wealthy families do that, you know. They just use automated machines or hire servants to operate the manual ones.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
I study pharmacology at the university. I'll be graduating next year if all goes well. I just hope Mother has recovered enough by then to understand what's going on. She and Jean were so proud of me when I started university. I'd be so disappointed if she couldn't see me finish.
I take it Jean is your stepfather.
He is. Mother married him 5 years after my father died of consumption.
My condolences. Do you have a good relationship with him?
Not terribly. Truth is, I hardly ever see him. In fact, before the funeral, I hadn't seen him at all this month.
Where is he now?
I don't know for certain, but it seems likely he's at his hunting cabin.
His hunting cabin?
Yes, he often goes there. It's his way of leaving polite society behind and spending time with his thoughts. Considering what Mother just went through, well, I would guess that's where he's gone. Although, to be honest, I don't know why he's not here with Mother in her time of need.
Why do people run away from their problems instead of facing them? Why, Miles?
Do you know where this cabin is?
Afraid not. I don't share his passions, so I never cared much to accompany him on his outings.
So you have to find this cabin.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
Juliet, smart as a whip and just as forgiving. She's a fighter, that one. Despite being the only woman in her class, she's managed to rank at the top.
Impressive.
I only wish Mother was more accepting of Juliet going to university. But you don't want to hear about boring family matters, I'm sure.
Oh, but family matters are my favorite. It's always so reassuring to know how much worse off everyone else is.
What exactly were the circumstances leading up to your mother's supposed death?
A few days ago, I arrived home from school and found her collapsed on the floor. She wasn't breathing, so I immediately contacted Dr. Fellows. He examined her and pronounced her dead. We were all completely shocked. I was devastated. She'd been in fine health. In fact, she'd just been out riding that morning. You can imagine our surprise at the funeral when she sprang back to life.
I'm back to the dead husband being the stepfather, yeah.
What's your relationship with the servants like?
Relationship? I don't have one with them. They're servants. Mother always made it clear that they weren't part of the family, just help. We've only got 2 on staff right now, though, the kitchen girl and the gardener.
Gardener? We didn't see a gardener.
How is it you know Albert Martin?
He works at the greenhouse where my sister Juliet does her research. The 2 of them were involved romantically.
Oh, wait.
My mother didn't like that at all. I heard their fights. They were ghastly.
What exactly made you suspect he was the one responsible for what happened to your mother?
Well, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? His mother's a notorious voodoo witch. Those people do all sorts of awful things to our kind. It's all out of spite, you know. He knew Mother disapproved of his relationship with Juliet, so he plotted to get rid of her.
So, you're running some kind of pill business on the side?
I'm providing a service, Mr. Fordham. Not everyone in this life is as lucky as I am. People pay top crown for luxuries like airship tickets and social club memberships. Medicine should be affordable to all. Dr. Tennyson has a patent on the energy pill formula and thus a monopoly on the market. That means he can charge whatever he wants. Students use these kinds of pills all the time, you know. Academic rigors can be overwhelming, and concentrating can be difficult without help sometimes. I've got the skills and the equipment. If I can replicate the formula, help my fellow students, and sell them at a much more reasonable price, why shouldn't I?
There's the fact that what you're doing is illegal.
Oh, you're starting to sound just like Mother. And just because it's illegal doesn't mean it's immoral. I can think of plenty of examples where the opposite is true.
You're probably the most altruistic person I've met all month.
The sad part is it's true.
That's a rather exotic bird you've got.
Yes, Ray is nice when he's quiet. But get him started and it's tough to shut him up.
Who trained him?
I think he already knew some phrases when Mother bought him. She's managed to teach him a few new ones, though.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Or if we can get the parrot to say anything else.
Who's a pretty bird?
Quack! Ray's a pretty bird.
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you.
Pieces of...
Okay, so that's it. I'll see if we can talk to that doctor again. And then we probably should talk to Juliet, I'm assuming.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please, be my guest.
Tell me what you know about Jean Dupre.
I'd rather not speak of him. Madame Dupre does not need to be agitated any further.
I take it you don't look very favorably upon him, then.
I'll just say this. If my wife had been attacked and left for dead, you can be sure I wouldn't leave her side.
What a gentleman. He doesn't even leave women who aren't his wife.
I see what you mean. Do you know where I might find him?
I only wish I did.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
Can I do the piano thing now?
Her eyes are glazed over. If we didn't know she'd been buried...
Alright, so he's got nothing else.
With her vast somethings...
I can't look over there. Just don't understand about the piano. Why is it, why is that not working for us?
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
You gotta figure out what was going on with,
Is there anything you can tell me about your stepfather, Jean?
He's a kind man. I don't really see him too often. He seemed rather upset at Mother's funeral, but I can't help but wonder if he feels the same way as I do about her death.
What do you mean?
Just that I get the distinct impression that he and Mother's marriage isn't as perfect as they'd like it to appear.
I'm starting to sense a trend here.
Your brother told me that Jean enjoys hunting. Do you know where his cabin is?
Yes, it's in Fenton Swamp.
Here we go.
I went out there with him a few times, but I didn't really enjoy it. Frankly, the place is rather grotesque. All those stuffed trophies staring at you with their cold, dead eyes. Plants are much nicer to have around. Anyway, if you take the main road through the swamp, about 1.5 miles, you'll come upon a small dirt path that goes northeast. Take that until you see a small cabin on the left. That's it.
Thank you for the information, Miss Montgomery.
Alright, let's go to that swamp.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Let's go to that, to the swamp. Or to the cabin. By the swamp. New locate. Oh my god.
Hello? Is anyone here?
Strange of Dupre to leave the door unlocked. Maybe it means he'll be returning soon.
There's a gun missing off the thing, too.
One of the guns is missing. Jean must be out using it currently. Satchels, boxes, and other assorted boring things for hunting. You really have to wonder about someone who chooses to surround themselves with dead things.
Were you able to talk to the kitchen lady? I could have, but I decided not to say that Juliet mentioned her name, and she got mad at us.
An absolute bore. I had a nasty run-in
So
with
I
an
don't know if
alligator when I
we'll
was
get
a
another
child.
chance.
One less in the world doesn't really bother me, to be honest. Are these even native to New Britannia? Some high society type in the middle of a hunt. I don't understand why anyone would get a thrill out of murdering innocent creatures. Not a very dignified end for our friend Mr. Bear. It seems Mr. Dupre is a Bollingworth man. Maybe he's not so bad after all.
Now let's snoop in the cabinets.
Let's see if Jean has anything interesting in here.
Not very much, except a letter.
Dear Jean, thank you so much for your help. I think that Mother would try and have have me withdrawn from my studies. To think that Mother would try and have me withdrawn from my studies is just unbelievable. Don't worry, I won't tell her you made the university change their minds. One attempt to ruin a life is quite enough. Ooh, that's interesting.
Who the hell are you? What are you doing in my cabin?
Jean Dupre, I presume?
Yes, that's right. Who are you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the attempted murder of your wife.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Forgive my rudeness, but you startled me.
Perfectly understandable, Mr. Dupre.
This is a man whose bark is most definitely worse than his bite.
Can we talk, Mr. Dupre?
I suppose so. Yes.
I suppose it goes without saying that you enjoy hunting, Mr. Dupre?
Yes, I do. I consider myself something of an outdoorsman, you see. It's nice to be able to go out and get some fresh air after being sat at the bank all day.
What about your home life?
Truth be told, I'm not at home as often as I'd like to be. I've been trying to make more time, but something usually comes up. Business is business, after all.
Yeah, but what business are we talking about here exactly?
Yeah. Stepchildren, Juliet's letter. Should we bring that up right now? Why not?
Do you know anything about Madame Dupre trying to get Juliet taken out of her classes at the university?
Ah, yes. Laura didn't approve of her daughter's desire to further her education. So, she sent a letter to the university requesting Juliet's withdrawal. I didn't approve of her trying to meddle in Juliet's affairs. If she wants to study, she should be free to do so. I wrote them a letter myself, without Laura's knowledge, telling them to disregard the previous request for withdrawal.
That's very good of you.
Yes, well, I dislike seeing people being told what they can and can't do by others.
Yet, he seems perfectly willing to employ servants at his home. Well, I suppose we're all hypocrites in one way or another.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
Oh, my dear wife, the past few days have been just awful for all of us.
Yes, I can imagine. How long have you been married?
For 7 wonderful years.
Oh,
Laura
he is
and
really
I
putting
are
it on.
just as much in love now as we were on the day we married.
Lord, does he actually expect anyone to believe that nonsense?
You'll pardon me for being so frank, Mr. Dupre, but why are you out hunting and not at your wife's side?
Excuse me? Who are you to lecture me on my marriage?
A fellow married man, that's who. Your wife has just suffered a very traumatic ordeal. Shouldn't you be at home caring for her?
But with all the confusion at the house, with the police investigating and her being attended to by her doctor, I just needed to get away for a bit. Surely you can understand, Mr. Fordham.
There's something off about this guy, Miles. He's definitely hiding something. And for once, I don't think it's from his wife.
Hey, Laura, welcome in. Good to see you. Hope you're having a nice Tuesday.
Do you know anything about the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupre's death?
Horrible. Simply horrible.
Do you have any idea why Mr. Martin might have attempted to kill her?
Mr. Martin? You mean the boys they arrested? Andrew said it's because Martin and his mother are witches who prey on the well-to-do. You only need to take one look at him to see his trouble. It's a shame they put him away so quickly. I'd have liked to teach him a lesson or two, believe you me.
Yeah, right. A lesson on how to cower in the corner, most likely.
What can you tell me about your stepchildren?
Andrew and Juliet? I see a bright future ahead for both of them.
What's your relationship with them like?
It's fine. Why do you ask?
I got the distinct impression from both of them that they hardly ever see you.
Well, yes, I suppose that is true. We don't spend much time together. But they're both so busy with school, I don't want to get in their way. Not to mention my job keeps me away from home for considerable periods of time.
Excuses, excuses. I get the feeling Mr. Dupre avoids his family on purpose. But why?
Oh, definitely.
Au revoir, Mr. Fordham.
Yeah, something's fishy going on. Well, we did speak to him. Discover the source of Juliet and her mother's rift. Well, we did discover that, so now we need to confront, I guess, Juliet about it. Time to go back to the university. I'm totally uninvolved, but they're fine. Yeah.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Did your mother try to get you withdrawn from the university?
As a matter of fact, she did. Just another one of the many ways she tried interfering with my life.
What happened, exactly?
Mother wrote the university requesting that I be withdrawn. I found out about it when the enrollment office contacted me. I couldn't believe it at first. I thought it was some sort of mistake, but then they showed me the letter.
I take it you were upset.
More than upset, Mr. Fordham. I was furious. I was trying to make a real life for myself. One that wasn't about dresses or debutante balls or fending off suitors. I'd been given the chance to make something of myself. And Mother was ready to bring it all crashing down. Just because she didn't agree with it.
But in the end, you're still here.
Yes, Jean stepped in and fixed everything. He didn't have to do it, but it was very good of him. I'm afraid that was the beginning of the end of my relationship with Mother. We never really managed to fix things after that.
She fixed
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
She's fixing to tell us to get the hell out of Ocean.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Wait, what am I saying? Of course you are. Madame Dupre has been interfering with Juliet's studies and disapproved of her relationship with Martin. Hence they're falling out. Plus the information in Juliet's notes about ethericity, putting animals into a death-like trance, seems awfully suspicious. It's enough to establish both means and motive. That's plenty to consider her a suspect.
Oh, we have a suspect now. Oh boy. We got our first suspect. What do we do with this information, though? Return to Upton and accuse Juliet. Oh, yeah, we gotta talk okay. Alright, here we go. We do have another ad break in about 3 minutes. Oh, sorry, it's gonna be loud in the coffee shop. I don't know why, but the sound effects in here are particularly loud. I'll try to get this...
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I'll try to get this done in 3 minutes.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
Jean Dupre isn't talking very much. I think he's hiding something.
Well, you have a knack for making people divulge their secrets.
There has to be something that'll make him talk. Perhaps I should check with those close to him. That's enough about the case for now.
Okay.
Do I wrap up the case? What happens if I do that?
I think I'm ready to wrap this case up.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
It was Juliet Montgomery, Madame Dupre's estranged daughter.
Daughter? Why?
Madame Dupre disapproved of Juliet's relationship with Mr. Martin, and also tried to have her withdrawn from university. Juliet grew to hate her. wanted to be free of her overbearing and controlling influence.
So, how did she do it?
Aside from studying botany, Juliet is also interested in ethericity. She rents a room in the Chum where she conducts her experiments. Among her notes, she talks about the ability to use the power to put living things into a death-like trance.
Fiendish. Nice work, Fordham. I'll pass along the information and we can make an arrest. It'll be bittersweet news for Mr. Martin, I think.
For sure.
Of course, I'll dip into the department's Good Samaritan Fund to get you proper compensation for your work. For now, go home to your wife. I'm sure I'll have something else for you to look into fairly soon.
Oh.
Juliet Montgomery?
Yes, may I help you with something?
You're under arrest for the attempted murder of Madame Laura Dupre.
What? But how can that be?
Come with me, Miss Montgomery. We'll need to question you at the station.
Addie, I'm home. Addie?
She must still be out at her hairdressing appointment. I'm glad we're alone because I wanted to talk to you about something.
Yes, Bill, I know. I told you I'm doing my best to try and find the flower shop burglar.
No, for once, this isn't about him. This is about you.
About me?
You want to talk about me? What about me?
You can play dumb and deflect all you like with everyone else around you, but it won't work with me. I know exactly what you're thinking, and you know exactly what I'm gonna say.
You want to talk about me finding the burglar from the flower shop?
I just said not right at this moment. Don't you listen? Have you already forgotten the old days, Miles? Before I died, we were solving cases like nobody's business. You were one of the best detectives on the force. But ever since you started taking that soporific, your mind hasn't been as sharp as before. If you're serious about taking on more complex cases, you need to listen to Adelaide and stop taking it. It's already had a negative effect on your performance.
What are you talking about? We discovered it was Juliet who was to blame.
Yes, but if you were working at your full abilities, you'd have come to that conclusion much sooner.
If I stop taking it, you won't let me sleep through the night. Nothing will change.
Well, things would change if you found you-know-who.
I thought you said we weren't going to talk about that right now.
Yeah, well, I say a lot of things.
An understatement if ever there was one. Can't you just keep quiet without me having to take something?
Afraid not, old friend. That's just not who I am or how this works.
If you keep me up all night, I'll go crazy. Things have been hard enough as it is. And if, God forbid, Adelaide were ever to find out about...
Hello, Miles.
Sorry for those who are in ads.
I thought I heard you talking just now.
Fantastic. The jig is up.
Hold on, I forgot to
And here I
pause.
thought we were doing so well, too.
Wait, the jig is up. What? Oh, right. Yeah, because we were talking... all these are lying, aren't they? Out loud. Ugh. I mean, I talk to myself all the time.
No, I was just going over the case. Thinking aloud, you see.
Ah, of course.
How was your appointment?
Mrs. Lefebvre was her usual bossy and overly picky self, but she gave me a very generous tip.
That's good.
So I stopped by the shop on the way home and bought a new deck of cards.
Excellent. Shall we have a few rounds of écarté? I believe you demanded a rematch last time we played.
Yes, that would be nice.
Well, you certainly managed to dodge that bullet. I only wish I could say the same.
That wildflowers thing has to be one of the funniest things I think has ever happened on stream. 2 weeks later.
And it says here they still don't know what caused that explosion.
I guarantee you it was sabotage. Those Redites have been causing a lot of trouble lately.
Is that the group of anti-steam tech radicals?
The very same.
Why Redites, though?
They're named after some fellow named Jonathan Red. Apparently the one who began the whole anti-steam movement. It's really a rather stupid name, if you ask me. And uncreative, to boot.
Well, what would you call them, then?
I don't think Bill can be serious. Anti-Steam Society. The League for the Preservation of Blowing Things Up. The Boom Boom Boys. I gotta say something funny.
Something more evocative, like the Boom Boom Boys.
Definitely gets to the point, I'll give you that. Perhaps you'd best stick with the detecting, dearest. Your nomenclature needs a bit of work.
Well, I think it's about time I get ready for bed.
All right, Miles, if you must.
Was that like a hint that I'm gonna take a little bit of something?
If there isn't a pair of scissors or a hairbrush in Adelaide's hands, you can bet there'll be a book.
I mean, I guess there's nothing else to do. Actually, what does our case book look like?
Who could that be at this time of night?
Good question. But Adelaide can handle it for now. I need to take my medicine.
You certainly have your priorities in order. Go on then. Get that bottle of rat piss out of your nightstand and let's get this over with.
No! Oh, wait, that was...
Addie can handle whoever's at the door.
No, I want to go check. Oh, God. Okay. I think I have to. It's making me...
Ugh, tastes like the devil's sweat.
You could just stop taking it, you know.
Bill, now is not the time to...
Miles, could you come back out here, please?
Oh, shit!
Be right there, dearest.
Oh, no!
Who was that at the door?
A late-night courier. You've got a message from Upton.
Fordham, this case makes the last one look simple. Meet me at Ruin ASAP. It's urgent. Oh, but I'm under the influence. That rat piss is vintage. Thank you very much.
It seems this case is rather urgent. She wants me to meet her as soon as possible.
But didn't you just take your soporific? Are you going to be all right to go?
Probably
It won't
not.
kick in for another hour or so. Should be plenty of time.
Oh,
all right,
no.
I'm going to bed then. Good luck, dear.
Good night, Addie.
Oh, God. Also, welcome in, Midge. Hope you're doing well. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Well, let's get this over with. Well, the same people in here, huh? They never
Hello, Upton.
changed.
I'm glad you came, Fordham. Sorry for disturbing you this late.
Curious to know what's so important that it could wait until morning.
An infant kidnapping in Lyon. A report came in tonight just before my
Uh-oh.
shift. The family wants to keep the investigation very low-key. They're afraid if word gets out, they'll have all sorts of ne'er-do-wells making false ransom claims. That's why I suggested they let you investigate first. Head over to 45 Belcourt Street. That's the home of Malcolm and Miriam Harris, the parents of the kidnapped boy.
Harris? As in Harris Construction Company?
The very same. Owned by Malcolm's father, no less. Now you see why they wanted
Oh my
to
god,
keep
these
out
sound
the public
effects.
eye.
They're too loud.
If they manage to get a new transatlantic airship off the ground, it'll be an aura mine. I can see why they'd make an easy target.
Don't worry, Upton, I'll get the kid back before you can say hot toddy. Okay, I'm on it.
Don't worry, Upton. I'll get the kid back before you can say hot toddy.
Hot toddy. I think you're losing your touch, Fordham.
And I think you've lost your joke book. Try some new material for a change, would you?
Right. Good luck on your investigation. Come see me again once you figured things out. Or if you just need to talk. I'll be here all day tomorrow as well. So feel free to stop by.
Can I actually go to sleep, though? Like, I mean, I think I should get to bed, right? I'm very tired, but fine. How's yourself? I'm doing all right. I've been a bit achy over the past couple of days. We can't even go home! We can't even go home! No! We're locked out. No sleep for us. I'm not ready to... Okay, we'll go ahead and get the case started. But then I'm probably gonna have to call it.
Mr. Miles Fordham is here to see you, sir.
I'm not gonna have time
Very
for a
good,
full
Mr. Havelock.
case.
Send him up.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Fordham. I'm Malcolm Harris.
I'm terribly sorry to hear about what's happened, Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham. You were very highly recommended by Miss Upton. She said you'd be able to solve this faster and more discreetly than the police. I admit it's a rather unorthodox approach, but we're desperate.
I understand. I'll do all I can to find the kidnapper and bring your son back unharmed.
If you'd like to examine the nursery, it's just through that door to the left. I'll ask you to please try and keep quiet as I just sent my wife to bed. Her nerves are rather shot, you see.
Yes, of course.
Oh my god. We're gonna end up fainting on this fainting couch, aren't we?
It's nice to see that tea is still served here even in times of tragedy. I'm sure the only location the Harrises care about is wherever they are at any given moment. I know the hand and waistcoat pose is supposed to look stately, but to me it always looks like the person is scratching themselves.
Okay, let's
The
check
Harris family certainly has a nice view from which to look down upon the world. I wonder if they use the balcony to give speeches to the gardeners. She looks like she's up to something. I wouldn't get too close, Miles. That vase is probably worth more than your entire building.
Okay, so this is where... Let's go to the nursery. Okay, we got a broken window here.
Be careful not to cut yourself, Miles. I don't think the Harris family has ever seen blood that isn't blue. Probably won't be another year or so before the child gets any practical use out of those blocks beyond putting them in his mouth. Look, you can see the balcony extends all the way around the side of the manor.
That would make it rather easy for someone to access this window from the outside.
No evidence of what was used to smash the glass, though. Interesting. This fabric looks as though it came from a garment of some kind. It looks rather flimsy. Let's not try sitting on it. Nice view of the garden from up here.
Okay, nothing of use there. So was a baby taken, huh?
That's odd. Why is there a loose button in the crib? I'm no expert on children, but it seems like it would be dangerous to have around an infant. If only the flower shop burglar was as easy to find as this clue was. The kidnapper left the child's blanket behind. There doesn't appear to be any trace of the silver spoon, though. Nice mobile. Custom made, too. There'll be no mistaking what family this child comes from.
Alright, so we found a clue.
Oh dear.
Oh no! Oh no.
How wonderful. The soporific has started working. Well done, Fordham. Now how are you supposed to... What's the word I'm looking for? Instigate? Interrogate? I just had it on the tip of my tongue.
Perhaps it's time to call it a night.
We're gonna faint on that couch, I think. Should I say something?
Well, Mr. Harris, I believe I've done all I can for right now.
Did you find anything?
Oh,
yes,
God.
I believe I have some leads I can pursue. But the most important thing to do in cases like this is wait to hear from the kidnappers. I'll be back tomorrow morning to continue my investigation and ask you and your wife some questions once you've had time to calm down a bit. In the meantime, I suggest you stay here and get some sleep. We'll all need it.
Oh dear.
Miles, wake up. It's nearly noon.
So it is.
Why didn't you come to bed when you got home last night?
It was late. I didn't want to disturb you.
So what was so urgent about the case Upton sent you?
I'm trying to track a kidnapped child.
Oh my goodness. That's awful.
Yes, the pressure's on, but I think I should be able to crack it.
Assuming you actually managed to get anything done at the Harris Manor today.
Well, let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Also, we've got company. Mrs. Delacroix is having her hair done here today, so please make yourself presentable.
You mean I'm not already?
At least do something about your hair. I do have a reputation to maintain after all.
What's wrong with my hair?
Do you really want me to answer that? We'll be here all day.